11 to 1. It's time to get up and get your day started.
Get up! Get up!
It's Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Morning. Good morning.
Morning. On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sports 56 Mornings is brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery in downtown Memphis. Now, here are your hosts, Greg and Eli.
It was a wild weekend, and I'm talking about the weather. And we still have a lot of folks around the area that are without power. It was a very dangerous storm that ripped through starting Friday night into maybe the early hours of Saturday morning. It may have been before midnight that it finally got out of the area, but it left a trail of damage. And again, our thoughts and prayers with everybody out there who suffered damage. I know several people who actually had a tree fall through their house. The people are fine. That's the most important thing. But I know there's a lot of people without power right now. And again, I feel your pain. Seems like we've all been through it one time or another. But unfortunately, that was the big story of the weekend here in Memphis. But we have a full week of sports to get to as college football is getting underway this Saturday. Not everybody, but the Memphis Tigers begin game week as they get ready for their opener and the opener of the Charles Huff era against UNLV on Saturday. We welcome you in to Sports 56 Mornings on this Monday, August 24th, 2026. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Jay Ham with you. We're live and local broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure at 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40. They got their Dog Days of Summer sale, and it is going on right now. Weather-wise, for the week, looks like it'll be pretty good. Right now, 73 degrees. That's very comfortable. High only getting to 91. We got low 90s pretty much for the entire week. There is some chances for rain today, but only about a 15% chance, about a 50% chance on Wednesday that you may see a thunderstorm. But for the most part, it will be dry, hot, but not as oppressively as hot as it's been for several weeks. Hour number one of the program is brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery. Have you taken advantage of the free tour of Old Dominick Distillery? It's going on now through September 7th. Just contact them. You can go online for more information at olddominick.com. Old Dominick Distillery invites you to have a sip of Memphis, discover downtown Memphis, raise a glass to the city's history with these free distillery tours. Locals and visitors alike can book a free tour of Old Dominick's downtown Memphis distillery, where there's a lot of history, and it's really cool to watch them produce the products like the Tennessee whiskey, the bourbon whiskey, the Honeybell citrus vodka, and the Formula 10 gin. It's all right there at 305 South Front Street. That's where the distillery is. That's where the distillery bar is. Go stop by and have yourself an award-winning cocktail or a local brew, local beer at Old Dominick Distillery. Coming up on the program today, it was an interesting weekend, but we're really building up to what's to come. We got a lot of college football news and some more news that's going to disturb a lot of people. We have NFL news as 2 weeks of preseason games are in the books. Pretty soon we'll have the cuts, the final games next weekend, and then we'll get ready for the start of the season. We got some high school football news. We have some NBA moves that took place over the weekend. A triumphant week in St. Louis for one Wyndham Clark. We'll discuss the FedEx Cup playoffs and Major League Baseball happenings as well. At 9:05, Richard Mulrooney will join us. He's the Memphis men's soccer coach. They have a huge one tonight as Memphis will host the University of North Carolina. We'll take your calls and texts on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines at 901-360-8255. That is your lineup for this Monday morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
How did you guys survive out where you are with the storms?
Nothing serious. Just a lot of little branches and sticks and things that I had to clean up out of the yard yesterday, but no serious damage of any kind. Didn't see any, and we didn't have any power issues, but certainly that was a crazy thing, man. It came very, very quickly and wreaked some havoc around the city. And so certainly to all those folks who had major damage or folks without power, we'll certainly send our best, man. That's there's nothing worse, man, to just be out of power for a long period of time. And man, it's for all the MLGW workers out there, man. It's tough. That's brutal stuff, man. And that seemed to just come out of nowhere, and all of a sudden, all hell broke loose.
Yeah, and it can be frustrating waiting to get that power back on. Like I said earlier, we've probably all experienced. I know I have, and it gets frustrating at times, and you want to, scream at MLGW. Those dudes are working. They're working hard. I know it was well over 100,000 people that lost power, and now I think they're under 50, maybe 48 is what I heard. But I don't know the exact numbers, but that's still a lot. One's too many. And I know it's affected the schools. As far as the roads are concerned, there's debris all over the place. I had to dodge going back home Saturday night. A lot of big trees that were down, especially on Walnut Grove. I know some of the lights have been affected, so be very, very careful. You need to have your head on a swivel because you don't know who's going to stop and who doesn't stop, so be very, very careful. Jay Ham, in your area, I imagine there was some pretty good damage?
Got some pretty good damage, but we were able to avoid the power outages.
Oh, great.
And normally in Whitehaven, we'll be the ones that are down 4 or 5 days at a time when stuff like this happens. But last couple of storms where we had those, we were able to skate past that. So thankfully, we had a quick flicker, then looked around, and nothing went all the way off. It was like, okay, cool. And looked around, it was over 6 figures, without power. And
right.
It was crazy.
It's always that nervous moment when you get the flicker. Don't do it. And okay, we're good.
I saw one video clip where someone was coming down Winchester, and the wind on the Winchester sign was completely off. The sign just said Chester.
Oh, wow.
Like right up here, actually, at Winchester and Kirby Parkway.
Was interesting yesterday afternoon. Storms had already, they've been long gone. And I had the flicker 3 or 4 different times. And I'm like, please, they're trying to fix somebody's power. Don't do it at my expense.
This is the one that gets me. Our whole street will be on except for like the last 6 houses on my side of the street, starting from my house going to the end of the street. That's happened, like even going back to the ice storm in '94, that happened even then.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's weird because I've had that before too. Like we had it where like, from our house, one direction was out and
different
everybody.
breakers.
So it's like different. Yeah, I don't understand it all. I don't understand how the whole thing works. But yeah, it's like wait a second. My neighbor's got power. How do I not have power?
Only 6 houses on the street without power. Mine and the other ones that's there. Everybody else is all good.
But I was driving down. Kind of right after it Saturday. I was driving down Houston Levee. Like all of a sudden, there's just a tree in my lane. I'm like, oh, okay. I only got a tree in my lane of traffic here. Luckily, I was able to go around it without any. It wasn't blocking the whole road. But yeah, certain roads were blocked completely. I mean, that's. They said like 70-mile-an-hour winds. I mean, it was just crazy how it just went from a beautiful afternoon to all of a sudden that moved in and just literally all hell broke loose.
We were at an event on Saturday night, and one of our friends, before it even started, had to leave because he got the call that he had a tree went through his mother's house. I'm like, is she okay? Yeah, she's okay, but she can't go back in the house. The rains are coming in, and then I read where a sorority over at the University of Memphis, I think a tree fell through their house, and everybody's okay, and that's the most important thing. But man, I'll tell you, that's one of the reasons why, that and being annexed, I left my big house in Cordova, plus we downsized, to go to a place where there's like one tree. I wanted to avoid the trees because I know the damage. The trees look beautiful, but I know the damage they can do.
Because we had a neighbor across the street from me with like Friday of last week, early in the morning, as I'm getting ready to come in, right after I left, as a matter of fact, and I was able to see this on my ring cam. The tree in his yard just went straight through one side of the house.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, this was with no weather, inclement weather, nothing. The tree just fell.
Well, you get the old trees, right? They're not taken care of, and they eventually die. I mean, they're a living thing, and that happens too. That's why a lot of people, if they have trees, man, you really need to have somebody who's an expert in this field check to see if this is a dying tree and that thing's going to come down on your house. It's a lot cheaper to cut it down than it is to fix it once the tree goes through your house. Insurance can only do so much.
Yeah, it was, and we got a lot of trees. So I was out picking up little branches and sticks and all that, all like for about 2 hours yesterday. And I get everything pretty much cleaned up. And then literally, like, I walk back outside and this like pretty good sized branch decides to fall now. Like, I've just picked up everything. And all of a sudden I'm like, really? Like, you couldn't have waited, or you couldn't have done this earlier? Wait, before I picked everything up, then I got to go, all right, now I got to pick all these up again.
Yeah, if you come across those that are pretty much just the branch itself is its own tree and you can't move
Yes.
We had one of those just missed the house one time, but it was like, come on, man. At least I guess it didn't fall on me while I was
Right, that's what I was thinking when you said that.
At least it waited till I was out of there, but I'm like, I literally get all done, walk back into the front, I'm like, why is there a big branch laying here now? Like, where did this just come from?
Well, there's no doubt that the weather kind of stole the show over the weekend in Memphis. And as you said, Eli, kind of came out of nowhere, just the craziness and how severe it ended up being. But there was some craziness, as there usually is in the world of sports, and there really has been a lot more of it in recent years. But my gosh, over the weekend, to find out, and we knew we were headed in this direction, but the Cleveland Browns have released former Ole Miss tight end Daquan Wright, who played for, you know, that guy now at LSU, Lane Kiffin, who used to be the Ole Miss head coach. Well, again, according to reports, Daquan Wright, who has been given, I guess, a temporary injunction to be able to return to college. And I don't know where that stands, how many more legal hurdles he has to jump through. I don't know. It is the most confusing thing anymore. But that was the story basically all weekend long. And he's only one of the players. There are several others that are going to be released by their respective teams and could sign on with college teams. In other words, a player who was once a collegiate player, and I'm using amateur also in air quotes, who was either drafted or signed as a free agent with an NFL team, was in camp, was cut or released, right, before they played a game, and now is back to being a so-called amateur collegiate sport, a collegiate athlete. There are a lot of coaches who have come out and have been adamantly against this, including Dan Lanning, who went on his soapbox over the weekend. There have been retired coaches. There have been commissioners. Greg Sankey has made himself pretty clear what he expects, but you can't stop it. And Kiffin, who knows, maybe he'll bring other players in. But Daquan Wright, the former Rebel, now rekindling that relationship with his old coach in Baton Rouge, and people are losing their minds, Eli.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is just a weird world we live in now of collegiate sports. I just love the story about it on ESPN.com says that he has an agreement to play for LSU if he clears waivers. That's what we live in a world where a guy's trying to hoping an NFL team doesn't claim him off waivers because he wants to go back to college. Like, what?
Think about that.
Like, no, none of you NFL, do not claim me. I'm trying to go back to college. Like, it's just a bizarro world. Like, if you were like left the planet for 10 years and came back and you saw these stories, you're like, what the hell's happened? What is going on that guys are in the NFL trying to get back to college? I do wonder, like, if at some level the NCAA just wishes when they put the 5-for-5 rule in place, they would have just grandfathered all of these people in and said, listen, let's just let them play, because instead now they're just battling in court after court after court. You know, they actually got the NCAA, and they got the rare W on Friday.
Colorado. In
the federal court thing, but so many of these things were decided at the state court level that there are still a lot of these battles going on, and a lot of kids who are eligible because they won in a state court that federal ruling that the NCAA won on Friday does not matter in those cases. So I mean, I have to believe, like, the NCAA was like, why didn't we just say, yeah, like, this is stupid, just let them all play, because it's not worth our time trying to battle in a million different courts, all at the same time. I don't even know how you do it. Like, I don't even know how the NCAA even keeps track of where the hell they're supposed to be. Like, which state we trying to battle right now in? I don't even know where we're supposed to go.
The money being spent on attorneys to battle this for what? They should have been grandfathered in. I said it on this show when it happened. There was going to be an issue. I never could have envisioned this large an issue. I never could have envisioned all these states suing on behalf of these players. Some getting injunctions, some not getting injunctions. I mean, think about that. How about if some of these players actually do play in college because of the state where all the legalities went through, and then others can't because of the state they were in? It was simple. Look, you had to start it at some point, but if you just grandfathered those players in, this is not an issue we're going to get next year or the year after or the year after that. It's a 5-for-5 rule that's going to be that's already been implemented. So we know, they know the rules, we know the rules. Everything should be good on that part of things. There's other stuff, but as far as moving forward, you got 5 years to play 5. I don't care if you're hurt, hardship, your mom's sick, whatever the case is, you got 5 years to play. You got 5 years to play 5 years, 5 seasons. Yes, statistically, it kind of screws things up if you're a historian, because somebody who can play 5 and not have injuries and go through, you're playing more games. Maybe the stats are going to be higher than others that have played the game before. Okay, that's all out the window. Who cares? They've set their rule 5-for-5. But then I knew it with that 22 class. Why didn't we get a 5th year? Why did it cut off at us? So you knew there was going to be some things that were not kosher, but I could never, and I don't know if anybody could have envisioned what we got going on. Like you said, the NCAA is like, put out it's like a wildfire. There's like 8 different spots where the fire is blazing, and they're like, I'll go to Ohio, put that one out in Colorado. Yeah, they got to win in Colorado, but are they going to get a win everywhere? I don't know. So that's why you have this situation. And now, again, you have coaches that are speaking their mind because they're being asked these questions. It was Marcus Freeman got asked about it over the weekend, the Notre Dame head coach, and he basically said, look, my roster's set. So he took the high road, but my roster, he didn't say I would never take a player in this situation. And the situation will never come up again, like I said. But it's not like he said, I wouldn't take a player. I don't like what's going. He said that my roster is full. My roster is complete. I'm not doing anything. Then you had a guy like Dan Lanning from Oregon who said, I think there's a lot of negatives that are involved around this. Once you go to the NFL, to me, you're in the NFL. You don't get the opportunity to come back. 2, most of us have built our rosters, and you have a limited roster. You have a limited roster now, which is basically what Freeman is saying. So if you invited somebody back to your team, that means you're kicking somebody else off your team to match your roster limits. I don't think that's fair to the players that worked all summer, all spring, and put themselves in position to be ready to work for a team to have somebody come back. And he went on. And I think he's absolutely right about this. But then you have Lane Kiffin, who's like, I don't care. If this guy can help me win and win big, I'm here to win a national championship, one or 2 or 3 at LSU. And if I can find players to help me, I'm going to do it, especially a player that I know because I coached him.
Yeah, I don't know where LSU is on number of players on their roster, all that stuff. I assume if they have openings and that's where he's fitting in, or if that means somebody else has to go, whatever. But it's, yes, I think generally everybody in college sports does not like this, but it just is what it is. And there are going to be any coaches generally will always look at it and say, even if I don't like it, if it can help my team win, I will do it.
Sure.
And so,
because if you don't, somebody else is doing it.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a simple thing of, listen, I may not like it. And if it was my decision, I would say, no, they should not be eligible. However, a judge is saying they're eligible. And so if that guy is out there, I'm not going to say no to it. If I've got a spot, I'm not going to say no to it. So it puts a lot of people in weird situations, continues to make lawyers tons of money. And it is what it is at this point. It just is it's like, the thing is, like, if an NFL team wanted to claim him, like, I wonder what, like, does he just say, I'm not going to report? Like, what do you do? Like, no, I'm not coming to you guys. You do not claim me off waivers because I'm not reporting. I don't even know. Like, it's just normally these guys would be like dying for an NFL team to give them an opportunity. Here we have guys like, do not sign me. Don't claim me. Release me. Let me go. I'm trying to get out of the NFL.
Yeah, and look, I know he's a good player. I don't know what his future is in the National Football League after whatever happens this year. But it's so strange, like you said, to have a guy who is in camp. He's got to be pretty good to be in camp. Maybe he looks at, well, I probably will not make an NFL team and play NFL ball. I got one more year to make good money. I see this loophole. Let me go through the hole and go back to college. But I would think for the most part, guys that are in camp figure, okay, if it doesn't happen for me this year, maybe I'm on the practice squad, or maybe I'll get a tryout with another team. And if not, maybe for next year, or I'll go play professionally in the Canadian Football League, or in the, what's the thing called now? With USFL, XFL combined.
UFL.
The UFL. So instead, they're like, no, let me go back to college. It's just weird. You're an amateur collegiate player, student athlete, again, then you're a professional, whether you make the team or not. Then you're going back to be, again, and I'm using the air quotes, a student athlete, an amateur. We know they're not. We know it's becoming more a minor league system. And professional football, professional basketball, certainly we know that. But this is just as crazy as it can get. If you thought it was crazy before, this is as crazy, I think. I don't think it can get more crazy than this. Guys are actually in NFL camps, drafted, signed as free agents, whatever the case may be, playing in preseason games, and then all of a sudden going back to college? All right.
And I'll say again that we could hear in Daquan Wright have a guy who has been on 2 NFL teams. The Eagles claimed him or signed him originally as an undrafted free agent. So went through the draft process, didn't get drafted, signs with the Eagles. They let him go. Browns pick him up on waivers. They let him go. And he could go back to LSU and I guess play the entire season. However, Arian Carter accepted a plane ticket from his agent.
Right.
Who he repaid for that plane ticket, and he will have to sit out 2 games of the season.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Because he, during the draft process, which he withdrew from, accepted a plane ticket that he ended up paying for anyway. He has a service suspension, but I guess theoretically here, a guy who's been with 2 NFL teams, who went through the entire draft process, didn't pull out of the draft, went through it, didn't get drafted, signs with 2 different NFL teams, he can just go back and play college football.
Right, great point. It makes no sense whatsoever. All I can think of is that the NCAA at their offices are saying to each other, we're getting crushed out there, and we got to get some wins. And here's one. I don't care. Maybe we look bad because of these other dudes, but we're going. It's the rule. He broke the rule. We're going to stand by the rule. We got to have some power. We're losing all the power. So they're trying to get wins. They're trying to get dubs no matter what they do. They're trying to get something positive, yet they look more like idiots when they do that with him and then everything else that's happening under their leadership. Yes, they don't have the complete autonomy. They don't have complete power. We know that is not the case anymore. But my gosh, they have been a laughingstock. And so if they have something where they can win, no matter how stupid they look, they're going to do that. And that, again, they are a big reason why we're having these issues now. Because all they had to do, as we said moments ago, is grandfather those players in, and we wouldn't have the issues that we're having. We got a lot more college football to get into. It is game week for the Memphis Tigers. Want to talk about that when we return and some other things that are happening. Obviously, you can hit us up on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines at 901-360-8255. Again, hour one brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery at 305 South Front Street in downtown Memphis, producing Tennessee whiskey, bourbon whiskey, Honeybell Citrus vodka, Formula 10 gin, now available, I think, in all states, if not just about all states around the country. They're doing a great job there, and they've been doing it for a while. I don't think people realize that. It started 150 years ago, but the revival began in 2017. Go stop by, swing by for a pregame cocktail, an award-winning craft spirit. Celebrate your wins with a guided tour and tasting. Find out more about them at OldDominick.com. It's Old Dominick Distillery. Come for the spirits, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Did you miss your favorite Sports 56 show? No! Check out the podcast, broken down hourly at sports56whbq.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to like and subscribe. Never miss any Sports 56 show again with our podcasts available daily from Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgos. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous?
Brett, after 76 years, we've decided to expand our product line. Anyone who's tasted our ribs is familiar with our vinegar base. It's now available in a 32-ounce jar. It's so good to base or marinate all meats. I even put a little bit on turnip greens. Something we've been using at the restaurant or at our house has been the Greek seasoning. My father was a cook, but my mother was a chef, and she was the one that put Greek seasoning on everything from a Mediterranean diet or a steak. My mom used it on soup, salad, veggies, fish, any meats. It's a great seasoning and a flavor enhancer. My brother Nick figured out salt and pepper was more than just McCormick's and Morton's. He's come up with a perfect blend we use to coat our shoulders and our brisket, and he used to make it for his friends as Christmas gifts, and they loved it. All these products are available at the Rendezvous or online for shipping as gifts and in many grocery stores. And if they're not in your favorite grocery store, ask your grocer to stock it.
A beloved family affair and still going strong since 1948, the Rendezvous.
Yes, it's that time again, and after all, you bought or sold a house 25 years ago, and everything should be the same. Wrong. This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Marks Bensdorf Realtors, and just like artificial intelligence, AI, it's changing the landscape. Buying and selling a home today is worlds apart from when you last did it, whether it was 25 years ago, 40 years ago, or 2 years ago. Just like getting through a jungle, you need a trusted guide who has a highly successful strategic marketing program when you're selling, and who also knows the trails and pitfalls when you're buying. You may have heard of me due to the fact that I not only am the worst golfer in town, but people often say when you want the job done, call Shell Dunn. Whether you're thinking of selling or buying or merely want a conversation about what to do or not to do, you can always reach me, Shell Dunn Rosengarten, at 483-0546 or email me at memphisrelocate.com. That's memphisrelocate.com or call me at 483-0546.
Ken Garland, you are in your 72nd year of business. Your son William is now joining you. What do you think is the key to your longevity in the building business?
My dad started the business in 1965, and I think being on the job sites daily and being accessible to homeowners has been a key to our success.
You guys have a work ethic, as you like to say. You're not hiring people to be on the site. You guys are there every day.
We interact with the subcontractors multiple times a day on each job site. I think that has been a key, as well as using the same subcontractors 20 plus years in most cases.
When you talk about materials, what is the first thing you're thinking about when somebody comes to you to build a home?
We're just trying to meet the expectations of the client and the homeowner and the architect and give them what their dream is.
When you get a Ken Garland home, what do you guarantee?
We'll be there after the job is finished. We're still accessible to all our clients.
Now I need to know, how do I get a hold of Ken Garland?
You can reach us at kengarland.com.
Sports 56 Traffic.
Good morning. Watching traffic build out here in the road work on I-40 East and West over here at Warford, Hollywood, near that 101 connector. Could see short stopping of delays throughout the day on 55 over here between Mallory and 3rd as they continue to work in that general area. St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital is leading the way the world understands, treats, and defeats childhood cancer. If you can help these kids, log on to stjude.org. I'm Commander Chuck. Your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery in downtown Memphis. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. 7:30 the time. Talking some college pigskin. Week 0 of the college football season is this Saturday. That includes the Memphis Tigers, which we'll talk about in just a second. I did see this right before we went on the air, and in Joey Harrington fashion. Remember Joey Harrington from Oregon, and they had the Joey Harrington for Heisman full poster or whatever it was, billboard, I guess, in Times Square. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Well, Ole Miss apparently has something in Times Square as well, but it's not necessarily the Heisman, I think, but this is the vibe you get because it's both their star offensive players. It's Trinidad Chambliss on one side, it is Kejuan Lacey on the other, and it says at the top, Ole Miss, Trinidad Kejuan in 26, more like a political thing in kind of a joking way. But both will certainly be Heisman candidates if they have the type of years that everybody expects them to have. So Pete Thamel, Ole Miss with a page from the Oregon Joey Harrington playbook. So Ole Miss starting already the campaign for those two players. All right, so other college football news over the weekend. Missouri announcing that Ahmad Hardy will not play in the season opener. In fact, is not expected back to mid-September as he continues to recover from a gunshot wound.
Yeah, we'll see when he'll be able to get back. Obviously, it was a terrible situation to begin with, but hopefully he can eventually find his way back out of the field and resume what looked like it'd be a pretty darn good football career.
In other SEC news, Ryan Silverfield announces that KJ Jackson has beaten out A.J. Hill, the former Memphis quarterback who he brought in as the Arkansas starting quarterback.
Yeah, tis starting quarterback announcement season. We've moved through watch list season into starting quarterback announcement season.
Keelan Russell, as we said on Friday, expected that announcement early this week. We got it over the weekend. Keelan Russell, QB1 at Alabama. But we don't know all starting quarterbacks because Texas Tech apparently is interested in bringing in Thomas Castellanos, who is seeking a 5th year. I don't know where he stands from a legal standpoint, but he's played at Florida State. He played Boston College. I'm trying to remember where he's all played. But we wondered about Texas Tech because they lost Sorsby, and who I don't even know who their starting quarterback is penciled in for this year. But if they can get Castellanos, you would think that they're bringing him in to start. So their quarterback situation is still a little bit tenuous when we know that Texas Tech is one of the top teams in the Big 12 and one of the teams expected to battle for that automatic bid by winning the conference championship.
Will Hammond was supposed to be a starter, but he's coming back from a torn ACL.
That's right.
I don't know if he is. I'm not sure exactly where he is health-wise. They thought he would be ready for the start of the season, but he may not be. I don't know for sure exactly. I haven't seen really any updates as far as where he stands as far as his health is concerned.
Have you been following the Castellanos legal situation? Because I have not.
I do not know which one of the cases he is involved in. If he is one of the state ones, I do not know for sure where he falls in all of this.
I guess it's strong enough though to again report whoever reported this that they have a lot of interest in him. So maybe he's he's closer to actually being able to suit up again in college as opposed to not. Here, closer to home, Memphis, the Tigers. I know that they already started basically game week ahead of time, midweek last week. Landon Speck told us that last Tuesday when he was on with us, and he'll be back on with us tomorrow. But this is officially game week for the Memphis Tigers. And speaking of quarterbacks, reportedly over the weekend, because that's when Coach Huff said he would announce to his team who the starting quarterback is. So we have to assume at this point that they know who the starting quarterback is. We don't know who the starting quarterback is, although the assumption is that Marcus Stokes is going to start. Nobody knows that for sure.
By the way, it looks like Castellanos, I think, was part of he was not part of any of the state suits. So right now, technically, he would not be eligible.
Okay.
He could go to a state court and try and get his eligibility, but from what I see here, it looks like he is only on the federal level, did not do a separate state thing. So that would, I guess, mean he is not eligible after the Friday decision by the appeals court. So
there's still time to do something else.
Oh yeah, you got a couple of weeks.
Right.
I mean, it seems like plenty of time to go get yourself everybody gets a temporary injunction. It's like they're handing them out like Oprah.
Oh yeah, and school classes, forget about it. Nobody goes to class. You don't need that. I mean, after those stories we had last week, the Lenore Sellers story.
Only a fool needs school these days.
Only a fool needs school. I love it. Lenore Sellers. No, I'm not taking any class. There's no classes. I have an internship at a driving range. I mean, what? There's been a number of those quarterbacks that have not just quarterbacks, but the quarterbacks I saw the stories on last week that came out and said, "Yeah, I don't even know. I don't have any classes. I don't have to physically go to class. I got to do like one thing online, and I don't even know what it is yet." Come on, stop the charade. But anyway, as far as Castellanos, we don't know. What was the last thing I said? Oh, with the Tigers, we don't know. It will not be announced to us. Will it leak out? Maybe, but we got to figure that now that announcement has been made by Coach Huff to his players as we get ready for the game on Saturday. But I expect we had was Ed Graney on Friday, the columnist from Las Vegas. He says he expects to see both Jackson Arnold and Alex Orji, and I wouldn't be surprised if you see both quarterbacks from Memphis, Stokes and Nolan. So I think you could see 4 quarterbacks in this game on Saturday.
Yeah, certainly. I could see them both going that way. I would hope, I would assume both at this point know who is starting the game, and they are getting all the reps and everything else with the first team. But again, this is the era of secretive head coaches as well, that always want to keep everything as much as they can secret from their opponents, because they believe, I guess it gives them a huge advantage over their opponent. I don't get it. I've never gotten it, but nonetheless, that is what it is.
Depending on the book you're looking at, I saw this on, I believe, DraftKings. Tigers, a 5.5-point underdog at UNLV. The total 57.5. Game will be played at Allegiant Stadium, home of the Raiders and home of the Rebels in Las Vegas. Now, I saw this over the weekend. I think our very own Brian Dacus had a story quoting these guys. But these are the ESPN dudes that make the ESPN Bowl predictions. A guy named Kyle Bonagura, never heard of him, and Mark Schlabach, who I have. And Schlabach has the Memphis Tigers playing in the Frisco Bowl versus New Mexico. This other cat has Memphis not making a bowl game.
Wow.
Tigers have a streak. They have one of the longest streaks in the country, if I'm not mistaken, in making it to a bowl game. They have been to a bowl. They didn't the first year of Fuente, right? So the second year of Fuente and every year since. Is that correct? I don't think Fuente got there the first year.
I don't remember if it was his second year that he got there or not.
Okay, I think it was the second year. Somebody will text in, I'm sure, correct me if I'm wrong. But they're on a nice streak. And even though there is a mystery to this team with 81 new players, with a completely new coaching staff. Everything's new. Even the stadium's new. There's just a shroud of mystery until we see this team perform. But we know that they went out and did a good job on paper in the portal, brought in players that have played for Charles Huff and other players around the country that have not, but have a good resume. Other young players that haven't really had their opportunities yet, haven't touched the field for a game. All this has to be mixed and matched to come up with something that'll be hopefully very successful. Because as Coach Huff said, it's time to win. You know, the talking's over. You got to go out there and you got to produce. I can't even imagine, even with this very formidable schedule, that Memphis would win less than 6 games. I mean, that would be a crazy step backwards. But I also I'm not going to sit here and go, yeah, this team's winning 11 games. They're winning 10 games. We don't know. The whole conference is a mystery. Just about every team out there is a mystery. But why not Memphis? That's the point. Why not Memphis? They know they have talent. They got a really good coach who knows how to win. So why not Memphis? But I can't imagine that you win 5 games. That means every one of these tough games we see on the schedule at UNLV, Boise State on the road, Navy on the road, Tulane on the road, South Florida on the road. I got to assume this dude's got him losing all those games. And then you throw in probably he has them losing at home to maybe Army in East Carolina. We'll make our predictions, by the way, on the show on Wednesday. But I couldn't see that in a million years. 7 losses.
That would be a very disappointing season. I don't think that would be where this program is now. If they took that big of a step back, that would be extremely disappointing.
Right. And look, it's a guessing game for everybody. So these dudes are making their predictions. It's a complete guess. But there's something there that he looks at that schedule and goes, no, even though Tulane's got a new coach, even though South Florida's got a new coach, that he has Memphis, I assume, losing those games because they are tough road games. There's no question about it. The Memphis schedule, even without a Power 4 school on that schedule, is incredibly tough starting this weekend. They will be an underdog in a number of these games. Well, it depends on how they start out. And they beat UNLV. I still think they'll be a dog to Boise. But if you lose to UNLV, lose to Boise, you start getting into conference play, you could be an underdog in a number of those games. Doesn't mean you can't win those games, even if you're an underdog. But there is as much of a question mark in these other places as there is in Memphis. Now, Navy, yeah, they got the coach back. Newberry's back, but they got a new quarterback. They lost some really talented players. UTSA has the most consistency, and Memphis doesn't play them. They have their coach back, Jeff Traylor, and their quarterback in McCown. But everything else, I think, people expect East Carolina to be that much better. They could very well be. I think people are kind of poo-pooing Army, and they shouldn't, even though Memphis does host Army. So we're not going to get all the answers this weekend, but we're going to get some of the answers to see how that offensive line does. We've heard a lot about that offensive line, that they're really good and they're really deep, protecting for the quarterbacks. What about the 3-headed attack with that running game? What are they going to be able to do to help ease the situation for the quarterback? You get the running game going, makes it a lot easier for your QB. And then defensively, are they as strong as they look on paper?
We'll know a lot more at about, well, I guess what, like 1 o'clock Sunday morning. It's a late night.
Yeah, about 5 hours before I get home, probably.
About 1 o'clock Sunday morning when that game wraps up, then we should we'll know a heck of a lot more as far as that is concerned. The by the way, so on the Castellanos did he actually on Friday, he was awarded a 5th year by a Kentucky judge. His case is actually different. He's arguing because in 2022, he played 5 games with UCF. He'd only played 4 games and was going to redshirt that year, but then in the conference championship game, he was basically forced to go in the game by an injury to the other guy, and the backup had opted out of the game. So he was forced into that game. Their argument is that year should have counted as a redshirt year because he should not have it was out of his control that he was forced to play the 5th game. So that's what they've been arguing with him as why he should have another year of eligibility. Apparently on Friday, he got that in a Kentucky court.
I think that's a pretty good argument. And rules are rules, I understand, but rules are made to be broken, as they say. And that seems like a decent argument right there.
Yeah, it was, he was not, it was supposed to be, I guess, a redshirt season. And again, like I said, he was the only quarterback I guess they had that they could have put in the game at that point after an injury. So,
well, you said that was a bowl game?
It was a conference championship game.
Okay, because I know a bowl game doesn't count against your red shirt, but a conference championship game evidently does. Like, you're allowed, what, 4 games? Well, they've changed
the rules on those things, too. I don't even know if now they're not going to be any red shirts. It doesn't even matter.
Right,
so
right.
It is.
But when he was playing, though, like a couple of years ago, wasn't the red shirt rule 4 games, but you could also play in the bowl game?
At that point, I don't think you could. I think the bowl games counted, too.
Okay, all right.
But I don't know.
Lawn Solutions is a locally owned weed control fertilization company that serves the greater Memphis area. Brandon Holly and his team of pros can take care of your lawn. Locally owned, family operated. They've been around a long time. They know what they're doing. Believe me, they were at my house just last week. They could take care of your lawn as well. Just call them at 901-867-5626 or go online to lawnsolutionsinc.net. They control the germination of weeds all year long. They're applying right now during the warm months, something they call post-emergence, and in the winter months, they're still treating your lawn by applying pre-emergence. Now, they can take care of any disease your lawn has, any insect infestation, dandelions, crabgrass, just ungodly things that make your lawn just look horrible. Grub worms and moles that can destroy your lawn. And how about the bagworms right now? They're rampant everywhere. Lawn Solutions, 100% success rate in getting rid of the bagworms. Whatever it is, whatever disease you has, for treatment of your lawn, it's Lawn Solutions. LawnSolutionsInc.net is the website. Call them at 901-867-5626. Ask for Brandon. Tell him you heard it here on Sports 56 Mornings. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You have opinions?
I think it's over.
Of course you do.
I don't think it's that simple.
Everyone does.
I got all the answers.
Hit us up on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line at 360-8255.
K4TE 349,980, MSRP 24,825, Celtos V5010,936, MSRP 27,130, Sorrento TG 455,570, MSRP 34,280, Telluride VGO 42,843, MSRP 44,420, EV9 TG 007645, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 895, must finance through KFA, excludes tax title and license with approved credit, dealer stock only, see dealer for complete details, offer valid through 8/31/26.
I've got Jeff Allen on the line, Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah. Let's cut to the chase. What do you got for us?
Hey, Randy, you ready to make memories with your new ride? 2026 Kia K4 LXS, $229 a month, $34.99 due at signing. 2027 Kia Seltos LX, $258 a month, $37.99 due at signing. 2026 Kia Sorrento LX, $327 a month. And a 2027 Kia Telluride S, $449 a month. 24-month lease, $39.99 due at signing. And the all-new 2026 EV9 Land all-wheel drive, $12,000 off MSRP, or get 0% for 60 months.
All equipped with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
Chris Price here from Metro Builders. Everything costs more these days. Groceries, gas, insurance, repairs, everything. But at Metro Builders, we decided it was time for something to finally go the other direction. Introducing the Great Deflation event from Metro Builders. We went back to our suppliers, renegotiated our pricing across all 4 states we operate in, and now we're passing those savings directly to you. Right now, homeowners can save up to 15% on all roof replacements, with even bigger discounts available on all roof repairs. So if you've been putting off that roof because of the price, builders, now may be the time to get it handled. Don't let them tell you it needs to be replaced when all it may need is a repair. We'll measure your roof from outer space with free inspections, gutter cleaning with any roof job, and pricing on site during the first visit. Metro Builders Great Deflation Event today. Get your roof inspected, get all options, and see how much you can save. Call us at Metro Builders, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717, or schedule online at metrobuildersmemphis.com.
Cozy season is ahead, and you'll be spending way more time inside. Is your home ready? Don't worry. With Wayfair, you can upgrade your space without breaking the bank. Score up to 70% off during their Labor Day clearance on furniture, area rugs, mattresses, and more. Plus, surprise flash deals you can't miss. Whether it's one room or the whole house, Wayfair has pieces for every style and budget. Shop Wayfair's Labor Day clearance now through September 7th at wayfair.com.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
A long life is wonderful, but it comes with changes as you age. So when you're ready to change your home, Town Village Audubon Park is the perfect choice. Incredible location, amazing amenities, including a pool, all-inclusive dining, and on-site medical care so you can age in place. Monthly rental with no buy-in lets you make current choices. Apartments include full kitchen, washer and dryer, bi-weekly housekeeping, and all basic utilities. Landscape courtyards make it easy to get sunshine and fresh air. Gated parking keeps you ready to go. And the Town Village Dog Park keeps your fur baby close by your side. Hi, I'm Max. My wife Jean and I moved into Town Village Audubon Park 18 months ago. It's the best decision we ever made. We have made friends here and take part in lots of social activities. It's a comfortable life. So if you're thinking of making a change, come see me and Town Village Audubon Park. I think you'll like it as much as we do. And look, new friends.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery in downtown Memphis. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
The other whole layer in the Daquan Wright situation is the fact that him transferring from Ole Miss to LSU at this time is against SEC rules. So Greg Sankey has a decision to make of, does he try to enforce the SEC rule that you cannot transfer from one school within the conference to another outside of the portal window, knowing that I would assume that would then go immediately be challenged in court, and I would guess that the SEC would lose. I don't know how the SEC would be able to enforce some rule for a judge would say, okay, that rule applies, but nothing else does. I don't know. Don't know any of that stuff. There's also, I guess, I don't know, is he transferring from one SEC school to another, or is he transferring from the Cleveland Browns to LSU? I don't know. I don't know how that reads. Where is he technically transferring from? The Ole Miss, the Eagles, the Browns? Where is he transferring from to get to LSU?
Yes,
I don't know.
That's a great point. I mean, he's not property of Ole Miss anymore. And
collegiately he is.
Well, collegiately you sign 1-year deals, right? Supposedly, it's a series of 1-year deals that you sign. His deal,
but he is still
with Ole Miss is over.
Yeah, but if he's transferring from Ole Miss as a college player, he is transferring from Ole Miss.
They must feel pretty good that they can circumvent that rule, and we'll see what. Yeah, you're right. We'll see what Sankey hates it. Sankey hates it. Sankey hates it because he's already said it that he hates professionals coming back to try to play collegiately. But how about if he turned around and he said, all right, you're stopping me from going to LSU, and then Pete Golding, behind closed doors, tells Daquan Wright, come back home. And they went back to Ole Miss. Then there's nothing Sankey could do about that. It's such a mess. And again, we see it in basketball. We saw, of course, the Bediako case that he ended up playing some games and then it got finally squashed and he wasn't allowed to play anymore. I'm talking about a former NBA guy coming back to play collegiately. But the whole 5 for 5 thing, which has been the big hot topic for months now is something that could have been taken care of very easily if the NCAA used their intelligence, and maybe they just lack it, and fathered in those guys that graduated high school in the class of 2022 to allow them to get that 5th year. It's simple. No problem. Easy peasy. It's not going to happen in the future, just like the COVID years are finally done. There's not going to be any arguments for a 6th year or a 7th year. The rule stands 5-4-5. But because they didn't father in those guys, they're going to their respective judicial hearings in whatever court it may be in whatever state it may be and fighting the NCAA. And the NCAA, again, it's like they're being attacked left, right, sideways, and they're trying to fight it off with their lawyers. They're spending millions of dollars to fight this in court. They won. They got the help from the feds, and they got the help in the Colorado situation. But they're not going to win them all. I don't see that happening. And again, it just seems like a waste of friggin' time. Just a waste of time.
Well, with Wright and these others, I mean, we're talking about a court in Baton Rouge.
Of course.
Who's ruling on players, multiple of which are trying to play for LSU. So, yeah, kind of know how that's probably going to play out. In all places, I mean, you talk about all these places. In Baton Rouge, like that's a 100% deal. Like I can't even imagine anybody in Baton Rouge doing anything against LSU.
Did you say Utes? Say Utes? Yeah, look, we have a lot of situations that are happening. The 5-for-5 arguments, I can understand where these players are coming from. You know, Trinidad Chambliss had to get the green light to be able to play another year. But I think all that, to me, is fine. But when you start to get players that went on to play, get drafted, some didn't get drafted, but they were free agents, and they were signed, and they signed NFL contracts, and they went to camp, that's a bridge too far to me. That's a bridge too far. A guy, again, trying to get a 5th year like Castellanos because he was thrown into a situation where he had to play in the championship game because of injuries and the backup quarterback deciding that he wasn't going to be a part of the team. He's thrown into the mix, and then he loses that year of eligibility. I can understand that argument. I certainly could understand where Chambliss was coming from and why he was allowed to play. And I can understand these guys from, again, the class of 2022 wanting a 5th year. Why are they the ones that don't get that 5th year? And yeah, the guys from 2020 and 2015 and 2010, yeah, I understand. They all didn't get a 5th year. But now with that rule, and you have to implement it somewhere, I understand that. But all they had to do was, all right, the 2022 class is fine. And they didn't do it. And they opened up, they didn't open up Pandora's box because that box has already been blasted open. But they caused a lot more problems, which they could have fixed with a simple ruling.
They should have either grandfathered him, and again, I think they probably think, or they should have just waited. They should have just waited to pass the 5-for-5 thing until like now, or not even later,
or started like next
midway
year.
Through this season, basically, like where all those people were done. Like there's no way they could have possibly argued because there's no way they could have come back.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes the decisions they make, I don't think they think them through, to be honest with you. One other quarterback note, since it is the time, as you said, for the naming of the starting quarterbacks. USF, which is on Memphis's schedule. The Tigers will play USF in Tampa. They have a new coach in Brian Hartline. They have named, I'm not a surprise here, Michael Van Buren as its starting quarterback. Michael Van Buren started at Mississippi State, correct?
One of the Van Buren boys.
One of the Van Buren boys. Then went to LSU, transferred to South Florida. So that one is announced. With Memphis, again, we think they've named their starting quarterback, but it has not been announced, and certainly not announced publicly. Will there be some loose lips, and somehow it gets out this week? I don't know. I doubt it very much. Coach Huff, he has a tight ship over there, and he wants to keep it quiet until Saturday. We'll see if that's at all possible. All right, we'll take a break. Hour 2 on the way. We got NFL talk to start hour 2. We invite you to be a part of the program. Hit us up on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines at 901-360-8255. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Available locally on your radio dial as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, it's easy to stay tuned to Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Whether you're buying, selling, or just want a fast cash offer, call Bubba Sandifer at Emmett Baird Realty at 901-257-9420 or direct at 901-319-0747. Looking to buy? Bubba will help you find that perfect home. Thinking about selling? Don't just stick a sign in your yard and hope for the best. With Bubba Sandifer at Emmett Baird Realty, you get maximum exposure, serious buyers, and real results. Want speed? He'll buy it as is for cash. Want top dollar? He'll list it. Either way, you win. Call Bubba Sandifer at 901-319-0747.
Looking for that perfect piece that says forever? As did Grammy winner Lainey Wilson for her engagement. Discover the elegance of Holly Winter fine jewelry in Germantown. From stunning custom designs and engagement rings to timeless gifts she'll treasure for years, Holly Winter offers personalized service and beautiful fine jewelry for every occasion. Visit Holly Winter Fine Jewelry at the Shops of Forest Hill on Poplar, where Memphis finds sparkle, style, and something truly special. Holly Winter Fine Jewelry, 9155 Poplar, Suite 18.
It is quite literally the dog days of summer at Family Leisure. Now, why is that? Glad you asked. Because Family Leisure wants to see your dog pictures, or whatever pet you have pictures of. Here's the details. With any Family Leisure purchase, you're going to get a dog bandana and a tennis ball. You take a picture of your pooch or any other pet with your newly purchased Family Leisure product, you get a $50 gift card. Come on, how many pictures do you already have of your pets on your phone? Family Leisure is giving you an excuse and a gift card to take one more. Now, what other dog days deals are there at Family Leisure? How about a swimming pool as low as $19.99? How about patio furniture that's up to 50% off? Get this, if you purchase any hot tub in stock, Family Leisure will give you a free theater seating set. Now you know why they're called the dog days of summer at Family Leisure. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family fun and your pets all come together.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. It's building out here. You pretty much would expect this time of the morning. 40 westbound coming in from Fayette County into Shelby County. They're still working a situation over here where power lines are down on Shelby Drive. It's blocked there near Sweeney Road and Airways. Try to avoid that area if you can. There, that section of Shelby Drive. Hey, check out the animals that are available for adoption today at the Humane Society of Memphis Shelby County. Check out memphishumane.org. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis with John Harden. Weekdays from 11 to 1.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Diamonds are forever. Woo!
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:03 the time. Welcome in if you're just tuning in. It is hour 2 of Sports 56 Mornings. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Jay Ham with you on this Monday, August 24th, 2026. We're broadcasting live and local from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, their Dog Days of Summer sale going on right now. Swimming pools as low as $19.99. Patio furniture up to 50% off. Just some of the deals you can get at Family Leisure. 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Weather-wise, 75 degrees currently, going to get up to 91 today. Partly to mostly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Hour 2 of the program is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick. On the web at gaddisjewelers.com, your bridal, engagement, and anniversary jeweler headquarters. And every Monday and Friday, they bring you the Memphis Sports Fact. Did you know the Memphis Tigers single-season record holder for stolen bases, Freddie Rodriguez, and this happened last year. He was also last season's top hitter, batting average-wise, for the Memphis Tigers. He has sued the NCAA to get another year of eligibility and to return to the Memphis Tigers. So right now, preliminary injunction. We'll see how that turns out. We've been talking a lot about courts and the judicial system in the first hour of the program, but that would be a big get for Coach Matt Reiser if he can get Freddie back in the fold. Once again, James Gaddis Jewelers. They are full-service jewelers with 2 bench jewelers ready to serve you. All your needs, your jewelry needs, from a simple cleaning to a resetting of your rock, they can take care of that for you. They've been around for 60 years serving Memphians and Mid-Southerners. James Gaddis Jewelers open Monday through Friday 10 to 5, Saturday 10 to 4, closed on Sunday.
Got a tweet from Scotty. He says, at this point, I'm just playing Arian Carter if I'm Tennessee. Zero reason to listen to the spineless entity that is the NCAA. Again, the Arian Carter suspension, I mean, it gets dumber and dumber. It was horrendous to begin with. It gets worse day by day as, again, guys are now coming back from the NFL and I guess will play without any sort of punishment. I wasn't now to say the spineless. And again, this is a dumb ruling by the NCAA, that suspension with everything that is going on. I have no clue why they think that suspension is appropriate. However, again, the NCAA takes a lot of criticism. They're just losing in court. I mean, unless you think their lawyers are just terrible or whatever, their problem is just the fact they can't win in court. Judges keep telling them this is the way it is. I mean, it's not that they're spineless. They're trying, but they just can't win.
Well, look, you can't judge one case on everything else that's going on. We can look at it that way. With Arian Carter, it's just plain stupid. It's stupid, but we're looking at everything else, all the other things that are happening, including a player or players going from NFL camps to college football campuses. That makes no sense whatsoever. So I understand the plight of this texter. And yeah, I think it's just absolutely ludicrous that he wouldn't be able to play and that was suspended for 2 games. It was the rule. Again, I think it's a stupid rule compared to everything else that's going on, but it is the rule. And like I said, in hour number 1, the NCAA right now is looking for wins. They're looking for dubs. They're not going to back off this thing. I don't see them turning around and saying, yeah, we're going to rescind the 2-game suspension. And Heupel would be best advised not to play the guy. But I understand, again, the plight of the Tennessee Vols fan, because it is stupid when you compare it to everything else that's going on in collegiate sports.
Speaking of Tennessee, got a text on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line, 360-8255, 360-8255. That's the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line that you can call or text. Texter says, Faison Brandon is QB1 at Tennessee. According to the reports out there, yes, it does appear that he is the clear leader in that. Again, I don't know if Josh Heupel's one that's going to announce it ahead of time or if he's going to try and wait till the last minute. We shall see. Obviously, they don't play this week, so there's still basically 2 weeks before they play. I have no idea what Josh Heupel's plans are on actually making the announcement of who his starting quarterback is. But yes, it seems as though, according to the reports, Faison Brandon is the clear leader at this point.
Yeah, look, that was the expectation that he would beat out McIntyre, but doesn't mean that we won't see both. I think we're going to see several games early in the season where two quarterbacks are going to be played by a team. Yes, you want to have one, and you want to have that number one and then your backup. But like I said, I would not be surprised this Saturday out in Vegas that we don't see four quarterbacks in that game. I think it's absolutely possible. But you have some coaches that have announced their starting quarterbacks, some that have told their teams, like in the case of Charles Huff, but have not publicly announced that they're starting quarterbacks. This weekend, week 0, not a large schedule, but you got some good games, some interesting games right off the bat. The North Carolina TCU game, that's the game in Ireland, correct?
Yes.
North Carolina is, and this is according to DraftKings, a 7.5-point underdog. They just named Billy Edwards their starting quarterback, who began his career at the University of Maryland. North Carolina, the whole Lombardi thing, it's just, people expect this to be a disaster again. I'm not saying they're going to beat TCU. I don't think they are. I think we're going to see improvement. I just don't see a second year now of it being horrible on the field. Like I said, I don't think it's going to be great. I don't think they're going to the ACC championship game, but I would be very surprised if it's not an improved team on the field. But North Carolina is a 7.5-point dog. You have USC. Again, a lot of people have them either in the playoffs or right there on the cusp, but then you got to get by some of those big boys in the Big Ten. They're still behind Ohio State and Indiana and Oregon. And they're up there with Penn State and Michigan and other teams that Iowa that could make some noise. But USC, a heavy favorite over San Jose State, 38.5-point favorite. In the ACC, you got NC State and Virginia. Virginia, a 5.5-point favorite in that one. Virginia, I think, is the better team, but I wouldn't be shocked if the Wolfpack went into Charlottesville, won that game. You have Jacksonville State, a 7-point dog against North Dakota State. I think it's is that North Dakota? I don't know if that game's at North Dakota State or not. But that game is a 7-point game with the spread. You have Sacramento State getting 9.5 against Eastern Michigan at Eastern Michigan. Hawaii at Stanford. Stanford is a 5.5-point favorite over the Rainbow Warriors. And then you have also on Saturday in week 0, Florida State and the Mike Norvell era, which has been shaky to say the least. 31.5-point favorites in their contest against New Mexico State. They should roll in that one, but how much improvement will we see? Because if it's not vast improvement from Florida State and that fan base, Mike Norvell will be out. And then finally, Memphis and UNLV, that's 9 o'clock Midwestern time, 7 o'clock. Is it Pacific time in Vegas, or is it? It's a 2-hour difference, right?
Yes.
So 7 o'clock Memphis time, 9 o'clock out there. And there's a lot of people that'll be heading out to Vegas to see the Tigers and UNLV. The Tigers are a 5.5-point dog. The over-under is 57.5.
It's 9 o'clock Memphis time, 7 o'clock out there.
I'm sorry. Yeah, got it backwards.
And by the way, so just got somebody said this. Actually, Pete Thamel 15 minutes ago did report, according to his sources, that Tennessee has named Faison Brandon the starting quarterback.
Okay.
So Thamel is reporting that that has officially been, again, it hasn't been out there publicly from Josh Heupel, but according to Thamel and his sources, they have, I guess, to the team or whatever, named him as the starting quarterback.
So you got Brandon at Tennessee, you got Russell at Alabama. Is there another battle in the SEC, or is that it?
That was, I'm trying to think. I'd have to think about that for a second. I think that was the only real battles going on.
Did Kentucky have a battle going on? So obviously Brown's going to be the Auburn quarterback.
No, Kentucky does not, I don't believe. Because, yeah, with Arkansas.
Well, Oh, yeah, Arkansas. And that one was named 2 of the week. I think it was just those 3. So
because Missouri. Well, Vanderbilt.
That's right, Vanderbilt. That's right.
I don't know that, and I don't know where that exactly stands and what the timeline might be. But you got the freshman there, so that would, I guess, would be the other one that would be a possibility.
Yeah, I think there was a battle going on at Vandy, but other than that, as we just mentioned, Tennessee named today Brandon. Alabama over the weekend, even though we had the news on Friday that was going to be Russell. And then we get the news from Arkansas over the weekend that KJ Jackson beats out A.J. Hill. So A.J. Hill comes to Memphis. They try to be the starter. They bring in Brendan Lewis, and he sits and waits as a redshirt. Goes with Silverfield to Arkansas and expected to be in the battle, which he was. I don't know how intense that battle was. But KJ Jackson comes out as the starter for Ryan Silverfield. So once again, A.J. Hill sitting in a backup role. This year he'll be a backup, not just a red shirt. He'll be a backup to be able to play in case something happens with the starter Jackson. But yeah, not exactly his collegiate career, not exactly how we expected to start. I think A.J. Hill coming out of high school, although I think, and I had a chance to talk to his father, they understood the situation coming to Memphis, that he wasn't going to be playing that first year, and I think they liked that fact that he was going to learn. But now you expect to win a job and be a starter, doesn't happen. So how long will he be at Fayetteville? Now, Jackson, is he a senior? Do you know what he is class-wise? Because, again, if he's done after this year, that's a whole different...
He was a freshman last year, I believe.
Okay, so look for A.J. Hill, I would imagine, to get into the portal after this year.
But I think,
if not earlier,
I think Florida still has they're the one that still has a
Florida does
battle going on. I don't know that they've officially decided on a starting quarterback yet.
Do you know who's in that battle?
It's the Aaron Philo and Trammell Jones.
Okay. Yes, there's like 4 or 5 battles. I mean, legitimate battles that took place in camp.
And I don't think that he is named a starting quarterback. I'm not sure exactly where that all stands as far as what Florida's doing, but I don't believe that they have actually announced a starting quarterback yet.
NFL over the weekend, we wrapped up week 2 of the preseason as far as the games are concerned. One more week of games, and then a week of getting ready for the season, and then the season starts. What's the date? That first game is on the Thursday, right?
It's on Wednesday.
It's on that's right, the Wednesday game. What's that date on that?
I think that will be the 9th.
Yeah, so you have that. I don't like you get the third preseason game and you think you're ready to play the next week, but you got a whole other week you got to wait around. Of course, all the cuts will be made and things of that nature. But the NFL preseason continues, and the game last night featured the Titans and the Seahawks, the only Sunday game in week 2. The Titans winning 19-16. They kicked a bunch of field goals. Cam Ward did start for Tennessee, went 8 of 12 for 69 yards, but Seattle basically rested everybody. They didn't play anybody. Drew Lock started, and he was 12 of 14 for 103 yards and a touchdown. And I know Robert Saleh, the first-year head coach of Tennessee, not real happy about his secondary. And I think that could be a very big issue for the Titans this season. Again, you expect improvement from the Titans, but they better improve that secondary because Locke lit them up. This wasn't even Sam Darnold. But Tennessee gets the win 19-16. As far as our buddy Tony Pollard, didn't play much, but did catch a pass and went for 33 yards, 2 rushes for 12 yards for Tony Pollard.
Yeah, the Seahawks did get bad news out of that with their rookie safety, Bud Clark, broke his ankle in that game last night. He's out multiple months, so not good for it, because they also lost a guy in their, I think in the joint practice as well. They lost somebody, so they got beat up a little bit.
Yeah, they have. Look, nobody wants to see that happen, and unfortunately, when you play a violent sport like football, those things do happen. Ashton Genty got hurt in practice, not in a preseason game. On Sunday, he had to leave the practice field, helped off the field with an apparent right knee injury. Now, the preliminary report is that it's a sprain. Sometimes sprains can keep you out for a while. And I know this is fantasy football time, the leagues and the picks and the draft and all that stuff going on. And Ashton Jeanty, certainly from a running back standpoint, will be one of the higher guys picked. So I don't know how that affects that status, but as far as the Raiders are concerned, the Raiders need all the help they can get. And hopefully Ashton Jeanty, with this injury, it is nothing too serious.
Yeah. Schefter and Rappaport both said it was a sprained ankle. That's according to their people.
You'll take a sprain over anything else any day of the week, but that could be several weeks. You won't see him again in the preseason. George Kittle's off the PUP list, and Christian McCaffrey back to practice. That's great news for the San Francisco 49ers. They got that over the weekend. The Cleveland Browns situation, which has been ugly for years, that ugliness continued. The Browns played a home preseason game against the Buffalo Bills. They lost 31-7 for those degenerates out there who gambled on it. But the story within the story was Deshaun Watson, who was booed profusely by his home fans in the dog pound. He said afterwards, going off on the fans, that they didn't boo me because of my performance. By the way, he was 5 of 12 for 36 yards and a pick. So I don't know. Maybe they did. He said I was booed because, again, the personal stuff, what happened off the field. So I thought for sure Monken was going to, and he hasn't made a decision yet, and I think this is legitimate. And he said that the booing, the fans booing Watson will have nothing to do with his decision on who starts at quarterback. But I thought for sure, leading up to the preseason games, that Watson, healthy, would start. And now I wonder. There's people like Dan Orlovsky, I'm looking at right now on our big screen here in the studio, who's calling for Cleveland to release Watson. I can tell you one thing. Haslam is not a guy that likes to eat money. And they probably feel that, man, we got to milk something out of this guy. He has cost us a lot of money, a lot of bad pub, a lot of bad press. Let's at least start the guy. So I don't know how tied Monken will be tied up with the decision that he makes himself. But now I'm wondering if maybe they do go with Shedeur Sanders.
Well, they're supposed to announce today. Monken said that he would, or that was the expectation that announcement would be made today. I mean, that's like, first of all, it's amazing to me that Deshaun Watson has been with Cleveland as long as he has, because he just hasn't been on the field. You forget that it's been like 4 years. I felt like it was like last year was his first year, but he just hasn't been out there at all. I mean, yeah. Some of the booing I'm sure, the booing is more about the whole combination of everything. It is partially about performance. He may not think it is, but he's been terrible. When he has played for Cleveland, he has been terrible.
Yes.
And so when you have that type of contract and you are terrible, some of the booing is going to be for that. Like you have not been at all what they expected to get. The people are booing because you're always injured and not on the floor. People are booing because when you've been on the field, you've been terrible. People are booing because you're a creep off the field, apparently. I mean, there's all kinds of different things where that booing is coming from, but act like it's nothing to do with performance. No, it is. You've been really, really bad when you've played for Cleveland.
Yeah, and I agree with all that, but specifically on Saturday, if he came out, now, I didn't see the game. Did they boo him when he took the field? Or did they boo him later when he threw an interception? If he came out there, I'm thinking if he goes out there.
They booed him immediately.
Yeah, maybe they did, but he turns around and throws a 60-yard touchdown pass and then throws another touchdown pass on the next drive. Maybe there's not that much booing going on. But that didn't happen. He threw a pick and didn't play particularly well. But I think you're right. I think it's a combination of a lot of things. It's an experiment that was very costly to bring in a guy, which made sense at the time, although the contract they gave him was astronomical. But to pick him up from Houston when he got off to a great start in his NFL career, coming off a great collegiate career at Clemson, and just everything has gone down the old crapper for Deshaun Watson.
And the thing is, he doesn't do himself any favors.
No, he does
in
not.
Coming out and saying that, this, and I think it's a disrespectful thing.
And then Shedeur backed it up.
Just say, listen, it's like, I understand. I got to go out and prove them wrong, earn their respect, whatever. Like if you don't understand why those fans are booing you, that's
a great point.
Like just say, listen, man, I'm hoping I can win the job. I can go out there and I can turn their opinion of me around. I can earn their respect and have them cheering for me, whatever. But I don't know. I just think it's a personal thing. It's disrespectful. Okay, well, you're not doing yourself. Again, he has a real problem with apologizing and figuring out how negative his image is and how to try and change his image amongst fans.
Yeah, completely agree. Couple of other notes from the NFL. Michael Penix Jr. fully cleared, so we'll see what he can do for Atlanta. Most people believe Tua Tagovailoa will be the starter. J.J. McCarthy started for Minnesota, although it's already been announced that Kyler Murray will be the starter. He goes out there and gets banged up again. I think it's been a disaster, and it will be a disaster. It's just one of those deals with quarterbacks, especially. Some you scratch your head why he was a first-round pick and why it just won't work out. I don't think it will work out at all for J.J. McCarthy with his career. He is now injury. He's been bitten by the injury bug, and I think that will continue. Also, we had speaking of injuries, Nick Chubb retired. Nick Chubb, who last year lost his starting job in Houston, announced his retirement, only 30 years old, had the major left knee injury in 2023, four-time Pro Bowler Nick Chubb. Started in Cleveland, of course.
Yeah, he was fantastic in Cleveland. He had a great start to his career, really nice career. And again, running backs, it's the unfortunate thing. There's just not a long shelf life for running backs in the NFL. And he suffered the serious injury and never really got back to what he was. But, people point out all of those. These
Georgia running backs?
Georgia running backs with Gurley and Sony Michel and him all out of the league by the age of 30. It's rough out there for running backs.
And then finally, CeeDee Lamb, Cowboys star wide receiver, who was with the team in Oxnard. That's where their training camp is out in California. His house was burglarized while he was attending training camp. That's always nice. Always nice to know that people are taking advantage of you. And then one other note, the tragedy that beset the Oliver family. Ed Oliver losing his son, 2 years old, drowned. That is just absolutely awful news.
Terrible news, and they are not at all happy with the guy who released that news. That is, and
I wouldn't be either.
He is. I don't know. Hey, good luck if he's ever around the Buffalo Bills locker room in any way. That's they don't like you very much.
I can understand.
All of the media had basically let it be and let Ed Oliver and his family decide when they wanted to announce and let people know what had happened. But some reporter out there on a Substack or whatever ends up putting the news out there.
What do you get out of that?
Own decision and his own timeline.
What do you get out of that,
Josh
man?
Allen and others were went off about that.
That's just horrible. By the way, I don't know if Connor O'Gara's listening to us. He'll be on the show tomorrow, but he does say the remaining SEC quarterback battles, Florida and Vandy. So what we talked about.
Folks, if you're thinking about breakfast, you may not just only think about Central Barbecue. You think about Central Barbecue for great barbecue and other things throughout the day. Well, now at least one of those locations, that's at 2235 Central Avenue, that's Central Barbecue. You can get breakfast daily from 7 a.m. until 10:30 a.m. That's right. Go on over there right now and enjoy some of their great breakfast, like one of their breakfast burritos or toaster sandwich or French toast or some of their great biscuits, whatever it might be. Full breakfast menu available daily at Central Barbecue. Of course, then during the day, you can still get some of that great, delicious barbecue, or maybe their hot wings, or any of the great things off the menu there. Also during the day and through the night, a full bar available at that location. The OG Bar, serving up mixed drinks, wine, and local beers as well. That's all at Central Barbecue on Central Avenue, 2235 Central Avenue, serving up breakfast daily, and the OG Bar open daily as well at Central Barbecue.
Got some golf, baseball, NBA to get to when we return. Your calls and texts are welcome at 901-360-8255. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Chris Price here for Metro Builders. Everything costs more these days. Groceries, gas, insurance, repairs, everything. But at Metro Builders, we decided it was time for something to finally go the other direction. Introducing the Great Deflation Event from Metro Builders. We went back to our suppliers, renegotiated our pricing across all 4 states we operate in, and now we're passing those savings directly to you. Right now, homeowners can save up to 15% on all roof replacements, with even bigger discounts available on all roof repairs. So if you've been putting off that roof because of the price, now may be the time to get it handled. Don't let them tell you it needs to be replaced when all it may need is a repair. We'll measure your roof from outer space with free inspections, gutter cleaning with any roof job, and pricing on site during the first visit. Metro Builders Great Deflation Event today. Get your roof inspected, get all options, and see how much you can save. Call us at Metro Builders, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717, or schedule online at metrobuildersmemphis.com.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets, with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli, with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Life is too short for boring cars, so it's time to run, not walk, to Gossett Kia on the Pike. 2026 Kia K4 LXS, $229 a month, $34.99 to its signing. 2027 Kia Seltos LX, $258 a month, $37.99 to its signing. 2026 Kia Sorento LX, $327 a month, and 2027 Kia Telluride S, only $449 a month, 24-month lease, $39.99 to its signing. And the all-new 2026 EV9 Land, $12,000 off MSRP, or get 0% for 60 months. Plus Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Come see Bobby J and get your new Kia today. Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike. Online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
K4T 349,980, MSRP 24,825. Seltos V5010936, MSRP 27,130. Sorrento TG 455,570, MSRP 34,280. Telluride VGO 42,843, MSRP 44,420. EV9 TG 07645. Includes all rebates and incentives. Fiat 895. Must finance through KFA. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. Dealer stock only. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 8/31/26.
This traffic brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery. Come for the spirits, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. Learn more at olddominick.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. A couple of accidents in the wrap-up stages. Still a mess over here where power lines are down. It's going to be like this for a while, most likely, with the power company over here working throughout the day on Shelby Drive between Sweeney and Airways Boulevard. Again, try to avoid this area if you can. They're going to be over here for quite some time repairing these power lines that are down on Shelby Drive. It's picked up even more in the Midtown area, especially there on I-40 around Chelsea. Hey, shop local at Weimer's Jewelry this week, 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Genuine diamonds, baby.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. 8:33 the time. You just heard the commander talking about the weather situation and the downed trees and power lines and whatever the situation was that he was describing specifically. But obviously, in general, we got clobbered over the weekend. There's a lot of folks still without power. We talked about this the first 10, 15 minutes of the show. To be extremely careful out there. Some lights are out. Some are just blinking. But also the folks that have been hampered by not having electricity. That has been something that we've all experienced seemingly. I know I have. I know Eli has. But it could be as long as Thursday before some of these people get their power back. So our thoughts and prayers certainly with all those folks. I bring that up again because I was sent a picture from a friend, Ed McDougall, from Fox Meadows, where they had the Fox Meadows championship over the weekend. And he said this was about 2 hours before the storm hit. Already, beautiful weather out there. Everything was great. And then, boom, it hit, and there's down trees, as there are just about everywhere. I'm thinking to myself, all those trees, for those who play local golf publicly in the city of Memphis, you've seen, especially at Galloway, all those trees that were cut down. Spent a lot of money to cut down trees to help the grass grow better on the greens and things of that nature. And then you get Mother Nature just coming in and saying, "Here, I'll take some more down for you."
She will do that. That was a pretty crazy from the beautiful day we had to just that coming as quickly as it did, and then the damage that it did. It was a little remembrance of Hurricane Elvis. What Hurricane Elvis moved through certainly wasn't nearly as bad as what Hurricane Elvis did to us, but yeah, there was some serious damage in a lot of places, and some very big trees that went down, some pretty powerful stuff that moved through very quickly on Saturday.
It also tells you that I don't care if you have the superest duperest Doppler, and sometimes these storms come out of nowhere and they're more severe than you think. And while they do a great job while these things are happening, sometimes you don't find out until the last minutes, or the last course with tornadoes certainly, but maybe even like 30 minutes before, boom, there it hits, because I don't think anybody in their right mind called for that to be that severe that we had over the weekend. So again, like I said, some thoughts and prayers to everybody out there that are dealing with that. Speaking of golf, well, St. Louis was a damn good host, apparently, because the players are raving about Bellerive. They're raving about that tournament. They're raving about the record-setting crowds. And I just look at that and go, okay, all right, stop bragging. We did all right in Memphis. We had a great tournament in Memphis. Shut up. But I guess good for St. Louis. But it was a dandy of an event, the BMW. They got great weather for the tournament. And Wyndham Clark gets the dub. It did not look like it was going to go his way, Eli, after the start he got off to on Sunday. He went in with a, 5-shot lead going into the final round? Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, poof, it was gone. And he's playing with Rory. And at one point in the back nine, he's tied with Rory. And Rory had opportunities, couldn't find the jar. And then all of a sudden, Wyndham Clark on that par 3, 16, made the putt for the bird, and then got the mojo back. Birdied 17, birdied 18, played like he did for the first 3 rounds. He gets the W in the FedEx Cup playoffs. Now they go to Atlanta, the 30 guys that qualified, including Fox, who was the last guy of the 30, the British Open champion. But they'll go to East Lake this week to determine the FedEx Cup champion. But as far as the player of the year is concerned, Wyndham Clark took a major step with that dub.
Yeah, 3 wins, including a playoff event and a major. Certainly, I mean, you could make a very good case that he should be the player of the year. At this point, I get there's still a tournament to be played. We'll see who the FedEx Cup champion is. If he were to win that, or if Scotty Scheffler were to win that, or whoever, then things might change as far as that is concerned. But yeah, it was a rough day for the first 15 holes for Wyndham Clark, but boy, what a impressive way to finish that with the 3 straight birdies. Rory making the mess of the par 5 on the back, making the bogey there on 17, which is just crazy you just think, like, how does Rory McIlroy ever make a bogey on a par 5? But terrible layup shot that went into a bunker, terrible bunker shot into the other bunker, and he ends up making bogey that officially pretty much ended it there. But yeah, I mean, Wyndham Clark, what a year. Now the thing is this here, the Player of the Year award, I believe, is voted on by the players. I don't know how popular Wyndham Clark is.
I knew you were going there.
So I'm not sure how popular he is amongst the other players. Obviously, the fans don't like him a whole lot. They seem to root for anybody against him. Wasn't terrible yesterday, but I don't know. So I don't know how much that could affect voting for a Player of the Year.
It was very strange, but to your point, to listen to those guys at the tee box, and Wyndham Clark would take his tee shot, he'd make his swing, and then like a par 3, and then you hear some kid scream, "Get in the bunker." And again, this is an American going up against a foreigner, going up against Rory. Now, we know Rory's popularity, but we've seen it in the past. Now, I'm not just talking about the Ryder Cup or the President's Cup. I'm talking about in a regular tournament where it might be a Scotty Scheffler or a Sam Burns going up against Rory or anybody else international, and you hear the USA chants. USA, USA. They're all rooting for the American. And it probably would have been the same over the weekend if Scheffler was in the final group or Goddard or any of those guys. Anybody but Wyndham Clark. But it just, to me, it just once again re-emphasized the fact of the matter that they don't, for the most part, like Wyndham Clark. They just don't like Wyndham Clark. It goes back, I think, to the incident in Pennsylvania with the locker room. Whatever, they don't like that guy. So they were certainly rooting for Rory over Wyndham Clark. And then, of course, they showed him some love at the end. There was a couple of drunks who screamed USA at the end. But for the most part, you watched that like I watched it and listened, they were rooting for Rory.
Yeah, I mean, again, and Rory, Rory is Rory. I mean, he's very popular. And there was actually more support for Wyndham Clark than I expected. You heard walking off green tee boxes, people yell, "You got this, Wyndham!"
Yeah, because he walked right next to him. That's why they said.
And he's doing, he's done his best to try and repair his image a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. Again, if in a player vote for a Player of the Year, I don't know. I have no idea what the other players think of Wyndham Clark. I have no idea what their opinion is of him in that locker room. Obviously he's a part of Ryder Cup. He's now clinched a spot on the President's Cup team. So, being in that, I'm not sure exactly what his relationship is with the other American players, obviously for that, but just overall what his image is and what the feelings are of players. The craziest thing to me is I still can't believe that I watched Gary Woodland top a ball yesterday. I know. That's as shocking of a shot as I think I've ever seen from a PGA Tour player. I mean, the dude was in second place. It's not like he's struggling like it is like, you're just like, oh God, it's just a terrible day. The guy's in second place and topped a ball into the creek right in front of the tee box. Like what
are you doing, buddy? I do that kind of stuff.
Like I literally,
Gary Woodland.
I did it at that time, the Publinks, number 1, first tee box of the whole tournament at Galloway. I topped it right into the water in front of the tee box.
Because you were nervous, but he wasn't nervous. He just topped it.
I hit a bad shot.
I'm sure you were nervous. He wasn't at that point in the tournament. But it happens.
It was just like when that shot, I thought the shot tracer screwed up. I was like,
so did I.
Like, what just happened? And then when he, the look at him, look back at the ground, like, what in the world just happened? It just is, it's just so stunning. Now his interview afterwards, it was just so emotional. He's great. I mean, he is an amazing story. There's no doubt. He even talked about the drones and stuff Saturday and how much it took out of him. Cause he still battles a lot of demons, and for him to make it back to the Tour Championship, is pretty incredible. It just, again, as he said, Like, I topped the ball. Don't know when the last time I did that is. And I can't even imagine. If you asked any player, when's the last time you topped a ball? I would guess none of them can remember the last time they topped a ball. Like, that's like just, that does not happen with these guys.
I still remember Retief Goosen. I've brought this up 10 times. Retief Goosen, 17, forget what round, in Memphis years ago, topping one. I'm like, oh my gosh. That's the only time I've ever seen anybody in person do that. I've seen a couple people shank it and make bad shots, but that was just topping it off the tee box, like going like 80 yards. That was incredible. By the way, at the Tour Championship, which starts Thursday, East Lake in Atlanta, 16 Americans, 14 international players. Pretty even.
Yeah.
Pretty even. A lot of the big names, and some of the big names didn't make it, including guys like Justin Thomas didn't make it, and Ricky Fowler and others, but your top 30 will battle for the FedEx Cup Championship. Also, is it possible, did we see the last live event? Now, Bryson DeChambeau says there's good things coming, that it will continue. He's excited about what they've talked to him about. We'll see. Others think that maybe it's over, but the last event of the season was in Indianapolis. Good crowds for that. Michael Lasasso came from behind to beat John Rahm. If that's a familiar name, Michael Lasasso, who started his collegiate career at North Carolina State, ended it at Ole Miss. He's a rookie on the tour.
Won an NCAA title.
Won an NCAA title and now wins a LIV title from behind. So congratulations to Michael. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with LIV moving forward.
Well, the other thing on the PGA Tour was the Scotty Scheffler situation, and he played well over the weekend, but then said that he was dealing with, this is the worst. Like, I always get disgusted when I
so do I.
Dealing with hand, foot, and mouth disease. For some reason, when I hear that, I think like that should be like an animal thing. Like,
I think of the cow every time. I don't know why I do.
Like, it just like makes me like cringe. I'm like, a person's dealing with hand, foot, and mouth disease. But as he said, he probably shouldn't have played. However, he was playing well going in. He wanted to, because he had already locked up everything he could lock up. He didn't need to play, but said he did feel better. So feels like with a few more days rest, he should be okay, I guess, for the Tour Championship coming up. But
is that contagious?
Yes.
Hand, foot, and mouth? I hope he wasn't pumping fists with
no, he almost shook Cameron Young's hand after the round yesterday and realized I don't want to do that.
He doesn't usually shake hands with like the fans or fist bump the fans. Normally he doesn't do that. So I'm sure he didn't do it this time. But for somebody who's used to like doing that, like I saw Rory, knocking hands and all that, and you had something like that, your caddy's touching your clubs and then you're giving it back to the caddy and all that. So yeah, that's something. Is that something that like the kid gets, like one of his little kids gets and spreads it to the parents?
I have no idea where hand, foot, and mouth disease comes from.
I'm with you. It sounds like an animal thing.
Thursday when he played terribly, no shock. Like he said, he could like barely hold on to the golf club. Like it's like, yeah, that's hand, foot, and mouth disease sounds like a bad thing for a golfer to have.
I would think so. And he did actually okay. Folks, Town Village Audubon Park, located at 950 Cherry Road, just off Park Avenue, is senior living in today's world, offering more options to fit your needs more than ever before. They're dedicated to the long-term satisfaction and the quality of life for their residents. All they ask is that you're 55 years of age or older. So if you're looking at your golden years or the golden years of a loved one, it makes sense to look at Town Village Audubon Park. You can call them at 901-537-0002 or go online to townvillageaudubonpark.com. Independent living, short-term respite stay, monthly options, great event schedule with activities galore for their residents. Basic services include a monthly rental with no buy-in. Apartments include full kitchen, washer, and dryer, excluding the efficiency apartments. All-inclusive resort-style dining with multiple venues, outpatient therapy. The community amenities, they have this community social area, has a fitness center, home theater, game rooms, indoor pool, whirlpool, on and on and on, plus 5 landscape courtyards, resident gardening areas, recreational, religious, social, and wellness activities, dog park, and gated parking. It's Town Village Audubon Park. Check them out today, 901-537-0002, or online at townvillageaudubonpark.com. Got some news from the association, NBA news when we return. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys, Tito's is known for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Incorporated, Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
Hello, I'm Ford Canale of Canale Funeral Directors. For more than a century, the Canale family has been honored to serve Memphis families during life's most difficult moments. In fact, Canale Funeral Directors is proud to be the oldest continually operating business in Memphis, built on a tradition of compassion, dignity, and personal service. When a family places their trust in us, we understand it's about much more than arrangements. It's about celebrating a life, honoring cherished memories, and providing comfort when it's needed most. Whether you're planning ahead or facing an immediate need, our experienced and caring staff is here to guide you every step of the way. From our family to yours, thank you for allowing us to serve generations of Memphis families with the respect and attention they deserve. Canale Funeral Directors, quietly caring since 1843.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Rebel Nation, get the latest on everything Ole Miss sports with the Cannon Motors of Mississippi Rebel Yell Hotline. Join Rebel insiders Chuck Rounsville, Yancey Porter, and Gary Darby Monday nights at 6 as they break down the latest with the Rebels, along with even more insight from special guests. Rebel Yell Hotline, Mondays at 6 p.m. on WHBQ.
Stay up to date with everything going on in Ole Miss athletics with Rebel Yell Hotline every Monday night from 6 to 7 on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Isn't it a lovely morning?
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
We had a little NBA news over the weekend. We were talking last week about DeMar DeRozan and whether or not it was worth it for a team to go after the guy. He's 37 years old, probably not much left in the tank. And then lo and behold, Denver, which made the trade in that 5-team trade and got rid of Peyton Watson to supposedly stay under the apron, both aprons, right? They were in trouble. And then they go and they get DeRozan. So what does that do for them financially? Anybody know? Does it put them back in as a tax-paying team?
Tax-paying not even a question. It's whether what apron they're in. They're way over the luxury tax. That's not even close.
Are they really? Okay.
I don't know for sure exactly where they are, but yeah, they're one of the highest spending teams there is.
So DeRozan joins the Nuggets on a 1-year deal, and then Klay Thompson clears waivers, got the buyout from the Dallas Mavericks, and he will join Giannis Antetokounmpo, Bam Adebayo, Eric Spoelstra, and all that beautiful weather in Miami.
I'm going to make a bold prediction. Well, it's not so bold. Nikola Jokic will end up a Laker.
Really?
I think so. I think what's happening in Denver is setting up for ultimately he's going to get pushed to L.A. with his homie Luka.
I don't know. He gives me that vibe that he's like dedicated, and he's going to stay with he's going to be one of those rare dudes that stays with the team his entire career. I don't know. I don't know him from Adam.
I mean, that could be the case. I once upon a time I had that vibe too, and I started looking at it. I'm like, This is kind of setting up for him to be a Laker at some point.
I like bold predictions, though. I like, why not?
Hey, if I'm right, I look great for a few minutes. If I'm not, I look stupid for a few minutes. Either way, I'm cool.
Yeah, we're not going to hold you responsible for a bad prediction. We've all made them, but yeah, I don't know. I just see him playing out his entire career, and I don't see Jokic is how old now? Do you have any idea? Let's look that up. I just don't see Jokic playing until he's decrepit. I could see him where let me go back to Serbia. Let me deal with, he's 31 years old. Let me deal with my horses. I see Jokic, I don't know what's on his contract right now, how many years he has left. But I would I'll go out there and say he plays 4 more years. He's done at 35. He just doesn't seem like the kind of guy that's going to be 39 years old playing in the NBA.
He'll have a player option 27, 28, and unrestricted in 29.
So player option.
Well, he's supposed to sign he can sign the massive extension next year that he didn't want to sign it this year because it's another like $80 million or something. I can't remember what the number is, how much it increases next year.
If he doesn't sign that move to LA might happen.
But how many years would that be for? 2 more additional years?
No, it'd be 4 more, I believe.
4.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about 80 a year.
Yeah.
No, it's just the total number of it is.
Oh, okay.
Between signing it this year versus signing it next year, there's a massive difference in the total amount of money that I want to say it's like 80, 100 million or something, the difference of the.
Okay, that works into my timeline then. 4 years, 31. I'm telling you, I think you're going to look at a guy who's about 35 years old. He's done everything. He's won an NBA title. He goes back to it with his brothers and deals with his horses and has fun in Serbia. I don't see this guy like staying here in the United States trying to get citizenship, and I'm not sure if he's a dual citizen or not. He probably isn't. I just don't see that from the guy. Again, I don't know him from Adam, but that would be my guess.
DeRozan, by the way, with that side, and I will put the Nuggets, looks like just right below the second apron. So I don't even think they could add to add another player. It would have to they could even add another veterans minimum. I think it would have to be a very new player to even add to their roster.
I don't know if we brought this up on Friday, but we did talk last week about the whole Lakers sale fiasco that's going on right now with the Buss family. But it did come out on Friday that there is a minority owner of the Lakers that owns 4%. I'd love to have 4%. I'd love to have 1%. But his name is Dr. Patrick Soon-Shiong, and he came out and said he has no plans of selling the team. So even if the Buss family were to sell to Bob Iger and Josh Kushner, and again, they have 5 of the 6 family members that say they want to sell, and of course, Jeannie's the one holding out, they still wouldn't have 100% ownership. And I don't know if there's any other minority owners, but we know that it couldn't be more than 96% because this guy owns 4% and doesn't plan to sell.
Good for him.
Good for him.
You also had this weird sale of the Timberwolves out of the blue. I don't know what's going on in the NBA. It's bizarre. These owners who have had the team for like a year get rid of them. And then the idea that the Lakers sold at a $12.5 billion valuation and the Timberwolves sold at $4.5 billion. That's just crazy to think of. That's the difference in the values of franchises, or how they're, how buyers view those values of those franchises.
And of course, the Lakers used to be in Minneapolis years ago before moving to Los Angeles. Real quick, did you see the story on Twitter? And I forget, it was like some kind of like analytical thing. I don't know what it was, but it said that the Timberwolves would be moving to the East. Like nobody else reacted to it and all that, but it was like a legitimate site. 90,000 followers and all that, but it was some kind of like analytical thing. I forget exactly what it was. I didn't bother and retweeting it and all that because I just thought nobody else is reporting anything. And they may very well be the team to move to the East. But we know when those 2 expansion teams come into Seattle and Vegas that somebody has to move, whether it be New Orleans, Memphis or Minnesota. And then, of course, I see this story.
I said it from the beginning that Minnesota is the one that makes sense. Didn't take any analytics. It just takes common sense.
Well, I see the story, and I don't usually go to comments, but I had to go to comments because I knew, like, yep, there it was. Like 15 out of 16 were Memphians commenting, no, Memphis makes more sense. What are you talking about? I'm like, just right off the bat, like anytime, they take that to heart. Like they're doing something bad. They're doing something against Memphis. No, I mean, Minnesota makes sense. Memphis makes sense too. More so, I think, even than New Orleans. But Minneapolis makes perfect sense.
Philip, by the way, texted and says, hand, foot, and mouth usually spreads among younger children. Very contagious for other children, siblings, and parents. Probably got it from his children.
That's what I said. He's got the two little ones there. And they go everywhere with them. So, yeah, I mean, they're not school age yet, so it makes sense that he's traveling with the kids and his wife. Hey, everybody, if you are planning to be in Olive Branch to try to pick out your favorite new Silverado for a test drive, I've got a question for you. How low can your payment go? Come to All-Star Chevy, see what 0% financing for 5 years on all these new Silverados will do. No payments until after Thanksgiving. Why? Because your good credit deserves it. That's why. Military, first responders, you get an extra $500 bonus. All-Star Chevy has pre-owned makes and models for any budget. You can go big with a Tahoe. Pre-owned Silverados, they have a ton of them. Whatever you're looking for, ask Jeff. He'll find it for you, and he'll find it for you fast. For all your commercial and fleet needs, All-Star Chevy is the top-rated business elite dealer. Express cargo and express passenger vans are here as well. If you have any vehicle you want to sell, bring it to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch. Get the most money for it today. So together, let's drive. Don't miss the last best sale of summer event. It's going on now in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet and online at allstarautogroup.com. When we come back, we open up hour 3 talking some soccer with Memphis men's soccer coach Richard Mulrooney. They have a huge match tonight as they host North Carolina. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You know that feeling when something is supposed to be complicated and then it's not? That's the Dobbs Brothers way. For your new Chevrolet, there's no games, no runaround, no surprises, just straight answers from people who actually mean them. Buying a car shouldn't feel like a battle. And at Dobbs Brothers Chevrolet, it doesn't. Trust, transparency, and driving our community forward. That's the Dobbs Brothers way. Shop Dobbs Brothers Chevrolet of Bartlett today. Together, let's drive.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. Do you know what Penny Hardaway and I have in common? We should both be in that building celebrating the best basketball players of all time. Of course, I'll have to buy a ticket to get in, but he should already be there. But seriously, we both surround ourselves with the best people we can find. We work hard to achieve our goals, and we are both among the best in our respective fields. At Fiveash, we can't win titles or get national awards, but what we can and do strive to do is give 100% of ourselves to give you the best product possible and one you can be proud of. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call at 901-367-0050, and we will do everything we can to provide you the best of everything. Fiveash Roofing. Fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
The wait is finally over. Get ready for the grand opening of the newly remodeled Landers Cadillac of Memphis. You can shop grand opening savings at Landers Cadillac of Memphis, and you'll find there's a special deal on all the remaining new 2024 Escalades. You can get $20,000 in total savings. And they're paying top dollar for trades at Landers Cadillac. See how much you can save with the Landers Easy Pass at CadillacofMemphis.com. And remember, if it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
Memphis, your Saturday mornings are about to get a little spicier. Get heaping helpings of SEC sports with the Back Porch right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM starting at 10 a.m. Back Porch features experts interviewing big-name guests, discussing big-time topics, and chopping up all things Southeastern Conference. You'll get plenty of facts, opinions, and perspective, all of it about the SEC. The Back Porch, Saturday mornings from 10 to 11 right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
This traffic brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery. Come for the spirits, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. Learn more at olddominick.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning, T-Dot. Those help trucks are wrapping up a couple of accidents out here. Just be careful in the road work throughout the day over here on I-40, especially around Warford, Hollywood. Same thing there. 55 between Mallory and 3rd. Extra travel time through that road construction. Watch for radar this morning on 55 up through certain parts of DeSoto County. Shop local and save a lot of money at Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck. Your on-time traffic.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studios, we are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Morning.
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:04 the time. Hour number 3 here on this Monday, August 24th, 2026. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Jay Ham with you. We're broadcasting live and local from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. They got the Dog Days of Summer sale. It's going on right now. 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40. Weather-wise today, 78 degrees. It's going to get up to about 91. Mixture of clouds and sun. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. But again, the temperatures, as I mentioned already a couple times during the show, low 90s for the week. So nothing really oppressively hot. Hopefully a little bit lower humidity. There is that chance of rain, as I mentioned today. Better chance of precipitation on Wednesday. Before we bring on Coach Mulrooney, breaking news, according to Yahoo Sports, Deshaun Watson, we talked about this just moments ago. Deshaun Watson has been named the Cleveland Browns starting quarterback for Week 1 at Jacksonville, according to multiple reports.
There you go.
Like I said, you invest that much money with this guy, you want to try to wring out the towel and get something out of it. You got to try to get something. And Jimmy Haslam, they spend big money. They want to give this guy every opportunity. He's already struggled when he has played. He's been hurt. Obviously, the off-the-field issues with him. And that's why Coach Monken came out and said yesterday, I guess it was, or maybe Saturday, that the reaction of the fans has no part in his decision-making. It doesn't matter, even though they were not happy with him and have not been happy with him. He's going to pick out what he believes is the best quarterback to give them the best chance to win. And Deshaun Watson, again, according to several reports, Yahoo Sports has the story, will be the starter for the opening game against Jacksonville. Speaking of games, it is a big one tonight over at the University of Memphis, the Park Avenue campus where the soccer complex is, because the University of Memphis Tigers will be taking on the University of North Carolina. We are very pleased to be joined once again by the head coach of the Tigers men's soccer team, Richard Mulrooney, who you can follow on Twitter at RP Mulrooney. He joins us now on Sports 56 Mornings. Hey, Coach.
Morning. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, thanks for joining us. Big one. We'll get to that in just a second. You got one game under your belt already this season. A nice win. You go on the road on Thursday and you take out Belmont in Nashville 2-0. Tell me about that performance.
Yeah, pleased with the guys. As the game went on, as you can imagine, first game, nerves, excitement. You know, we had to find that composure. So the first half played okay, but I was happy that as the game went on, it got better. And the guys started figuring out how to break them down a little bit. Thought we started completed more passes. Our movement off the ball went well. And then obviously got the goal to give us that breathing room. Attacked on a second one for insurance and to see it out 2-0 with a shutout. Really good performance against a strong Belmont team. They were able to beat us last year, so it was good it was nice to go up there and get that win to lead into that game tonight. But really happy with the guys, but we can always get better.
Just overall, coming into the season, how do you feel about this team, this roster you have?
Yeah, I'm positively optimistic. You know, like last year, I thought offensively we could score with anybody. We could create opportunities. It was as a team playing defense is where we sort of struggled. We just really could never get it together. Team exposed us, and I think we were giving up close to 3 goals a game, and you're not going to win a lot of games as our record showed last year. So I thought going into this preseason, we were able to bring in some individual pieces that helped shore that up, not only on the back line, but in the middle and up top. And then collectively just worked on our team shape. You know, if we can just be tough to break down, just be a nuisance, just sort of make the other team uncomfortable when they're on the ball. I feel as though, you know, like I said, we're going to be able to get some goals, but we need to be able to get some shutouts like we did the other night, or bare minimum, just give up maybe 1, no more than 2 in a game. And I think it gives us opportunities to get results. And we did that. So going into this year, the focus was to get better defensively as a collective group. And I believe we've done that through individuals and obviously the tactically set up that we have set up.
Are you a veteran-laden team? These guys you brought in, are they upperclassmen?
Most of them, yeah. Like I said, there's that, you know, as you guys talk about, there's that transfer portal. So there's already production over potential in terms of, you know, not necessarily bringing in true freshmen, although I'm not against it. We had a few true freshmen last year. They're actually getting minutes for us right now, but I think we've only got maybe 1 true freshman on the roster. I need some guys that sort of were proven to, you know, be able to shut down one-on-one and collectively improving in college already. So I brought in a few of those guys. But in saying that, I did bring back quite a few of the guys on the team last year. So that wasn't a complete waste or anything of that sort, that I just redid the whole roster. So in saying that, I brought back a nice little backbone and returned most of our attacking players. And then you add those, like you said, to the players that we just brought in this year. And yeah, I feel like it's a pretty complete group, not only on the ball but off the ball as well.
Yeah, a couple of those guys you got returning in Miller Lashley and Evan McIntyre, all conference selections for the preseason. So to have at least some guys, some continuity guys who've been in the program, know what you're all about, how important is that to have those types of players back?
It's huge. Like I said, I was able to get a few of those in the spring, and you trickle them in, and obviously, you know, there's that thing called culture. You know, if you don't have that culture in the locker room, you don't have anything. You can have the greatest players in the world, but if guys are doing their own thing and don't believe in what we stand for on and off the field, then it's a bit chaotic. So knowing that we brought back quite a few guys from the last year's team, the rules that we have on and off the field, the examples that you know, just like last week we went to Le Bonheur for an hour, and I'm very thankful that they had us there. But that's a big piece to this program, that our community service is you can grow and you can get better from that as a team. So in saying that, bringing these guys in, mixing them in with the Miller Lashleys and the Evan McIntyres of, listen, this is what we're about. Yes, we want to win games. We also want to, you know, respect, you know, the university and what we do here, and we've got to earn that. So on and off the field, you know, there's that culture part, and I think the returning guys definitely believe in that and have passed that on to the new guys coming in, and we're already seeing it.
I hear you about culture, and all those things just add to somebody wanting to play at the University of Memphis. But come on now, we live in this age where money talks, and I don't know how crazy it is in soccer as opposed to football and basketball, and these stories that I'm sure you see, Richard, that are all over the place, just nuts. From a financial standpoint, what is it like in soccer to be able to retain those players? How big was that? Because I'm sure there are at least some soccer programs out there that have a lot of money that are able to buy players.
Absolutely. No, like you said, it's not as big as the basketballs and footballs, and thankfully about that. I don't know how Coach Huff and the other guys get through that, but in saying that, it's in soccer, no doubt about it. There's guys that have made money that played soccer, whether it's Indiana or Virginia or whatever, that are passing down, and good for those programs. Like I said, it's nice to see programs that are well resourced, so on and so forth. But what I can say is, you know, I've sat down with Dr. Scott, and he's given me the resources I have too. It's not that he's, you know, turned a blind eye to any of his programs, but he's taken care of my program and made us competitive, that we can retain players, like you said, and we can bring players in. So I can, you know, up to a point, compete with a lot of programs. And at the end of the day, if a kid truly wants to go over money and I lose him over that, it wasn't meant to be. And as you probably look at my roster, the international is a big piece to this. You know, There's kids from England, from, you know, South Korea, from Japan that, you know, want to come over here that don't necessarily need to be, not necessarily bought out, but financed in that way, and a scholarship's good enough, and I've got those resources to get those players, and it's up to me and my staff to truly go out and leave no stone unturned and find those kids that want to be here in Memphis to play for the right reasons. And like I said, have that culture in a locker room that we can hopefully win games and championships as well.
Well, and you mentioned with the internationals, I wanted to add, because one of the conversations being had now, and for now it's various levels or different levels, but is guys who have been professional elsewhere and are eligible for college. Are you getting like guys who were professionals in other countries who are coming over here to play college?
They are. There's a threshold to it. Like to say that I've got a kid that played with Christian Pulisic at AC Milan. No, it's not to that level. They might be in programs that, if they might have gotten a preseason game with a professional team, and that's not to say I'm in there, but they got some minutes, but in saying that are still on an amateur contract, that's involved 100%. Okay. Over in Europe, it's a little different than here that, there's different levels. And as soon as you hit like maybe the 3rd division or 4th division in Germany, boom, you're triggered as a professional. Mm-hmm. And based on those games is where your eligibility is proven here or not. So it's trickling in a little bit to say that, I just saw a tight end that played preseason NFL and now he's going to LSU. Yeah. I don't know if it's to that level, but in saying that, we honestly, when it comes up, it's just put through compliance. And if they're eligible, great. But at the same time, that's not necessarily the direction I'm going either. It just depends on the right situation, the position that I've got. And usually those guys that have played professional probably want, as we just talked about, want a couple dollar bills with that, and maybe out of my price range. And like I said, I can find other ways to make this team better and not to completely break my program on one player.
University of Memphis men's soccer coach, former MLS star Richard Mulrooney, joining us on the program. Again, you can follow Coach on Twitter at RP Mulrooney. All right, North Carolina tonight. We know that they have been a soccer power for a long time. You played them last year there in Chapel Hill. Didn't go so well, but it was a big challenge for you guys. I think now this is the 3rd time that you have played North Carolina. Still looking for that initial goal against them. Why will tonight be different? How well do you think you guys can battle them this year as opposed to last year?
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, total respect to them. The last couple of times we played them, I believe we played well. We took losses, and there's no feathers in the cap for just showing up and competing. We want to win, but in saying that, I think got a couple guys still that have that experience of playing there both times. I brought in guys that have experience from the ACC as well as some other big conferences. So I think the experience, sometimes it's, oh my God, we're playing a team with an ACC patch or something of that sort. Mm-hmm. I don't think we're going to be stressed out by that. I don't think we're going to be intimidated. And at the same time, we are home. That's a nice little piece. To play there, it's always a little bit tougher on the road. So I think that home piece is big for us. And again, I think just through what we've been through the last year, the development we've had gives us a chance. And I wouldn't say a fighting chance, because we truly have a chance to get an opportunity tonight. It's a 90-minute game. We both play with the same white soccer ball, same field or whatever. And as you just mentioned, there's no pros on either team. This is a really good opportunity for us. And I like the development we've got. And like I said, I think we've shored up our defense enough that hopefully contain them. And I think what it's going to come down to is, they don't beat themselves. That's a team that really is very thorough. They don't make critical errors. We've got to make sure we do that same thing. And obviously, if they're going to score, make them earn it. Don't give them the free pass or whatever. But at the same time, we've got to finish our opportunities. So really good opportunity tonight against a great team. Obviously, and then I'll just throw this in here real quick. Logistically, we're still trying to get some power on campus. So we're going to have a meeting in a little bit in terms of what time this game's going to be played and possibly where, but check our social media for that if you don't mind throwing that in there. Okay. But a great opportunity for the guys tonight. It's a really it's a good measuring stick as to where we're at right now, and I really like our chances.
How difficult is it to get a program like North Carolina to come in here to do a home and home with you with these power conference schools? Is it difficult?
It's a challenge. It absolutely is. I'm very, very grateful that they gave me this home and home. We went there last year and got it back. I'd probably say 4/5 of the teams would be like, nope, you're going to come here. We'll give you a guarantee or whatever, and then that's about it. So again, there's a respect here. I think we've earned North Carolina's respect with the way we played. I know the staff personally, and really just enjoy getting along with them. And I think that goes a long way with just treating people nice or whatever. And again, it's more to than that. It's the wins and losses. But for them to come in here, it just shows you what they think of our program. And I'm forever grateful with that. And I'm hoping this relationship can continue with them, along with others, to be honest with you, because this is, as we all know, Memphis is a fun place. You get here and you're like, this isn't so bad. I think they're really going to like our complex, and especially in a couple of years when we have that stadium built, it's going to be a place that other teams want to come and play as well.
You go from the ACC to the Big Ten this Friday as you'll travel to Columbus to play Ohio State. Is that going to be a home and home? Are they going to be here next year?
They won't be. I tried. Actually, I know their coach very well, played with him in the MLS. Great guy. With their schedule, they couldn't get it. So, again, that was one that, you know what, guys? And there's more to it. Again, it's about the games, but for the guys to go up to see Columbus, to see Ohio State, that's fun. You know, it's good to get on these road trips to see places. We obviously added Butler, who's a Big East team, on the back end of that, but that was a game where I couldn't get it. But that's the experience of going up to play at the Buckeye, but obviously on the soccer side of things, it's exciting to think about, and the guys are up for it, and it's a big RPI game. I wanted to make sure that this year with our RPI that, you know, for some reason you fall short in the conference and don't get that golden ticket by winning it all, our RPI should be big enough from getting results, hopefully, to get that at-large bid. So that was the thinking with that as well.
Makes a lot of sense. And like you said, it's incentive for kids that are looking at Memphis to possibly come here and play soccer. They see the type of opponents you play, the type of schedule you play, and they get excited about that. There's no question about it. So once again, North Carolina in town to play the Tigers. But as you said, Richard, to make sure to check Go Tigers Go, because there could be a venue switch or a time switch, you said, because of the storms?
Yeah, we're still lacking power over at South Campus, so we're hoping that comes on this morning. As soon as I get off with you guys, and you guys are my priority, but next one, I've got to get on a conference call, or excuse me, a call with all the senior staff to figure out what's going on and make a decision, because we're still lacking power, and it could be a venue switch. We're hoping not, but in saying that, maybe a time switch earlier, but time will tell. But we're going to get that out sooner rather than later, because we need as many bodies in the stand tonight as possible to cheer us on.
Absolutely. Again, it's the Tigers and North Carolina. Check the website and find out exactly, again, when that game will be played and if the venue is changed. He is Richard Mulroney. He's the head coach of the University of Memphis Tigers. Coach, best of luck not only tonight but all season long. We always appreciate you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Take care. There you go. So, again, we're talking about the storms affecting a lot of things, may affect where this game is played tonight. And either way, it's going to be a home game, but it could end up being out at, I'm just throwing it out there. Could end up being out at Mike Rose or somewhere else for the North Carolina Tar Heels in town. But hopefully we'll be a great crowd to root on the Tigers. Yeah, again, MLGW is doing what they can, working hard to try and get power back on. But there's still a lot of folks out there, a lot of areas without power, and it's a process, and hopefully they're able to get that back on and have no issues over on South Campus, but it certainly is a possibility. Folks, for lunch or dinner, Corky's is always a great option with 4 locations in the greater Memphis area: Poplar Avenue in Memphis, Poplar Avenue in Collierville, Germantown Parkway in Cordova, and Goodman Road in Olive Branch. You can dine in. You can go through the no-contact delivery. You can have them deliver. Corky's will deliver anywhere in the Memphis metropolitan area at a set cost of $3.99. They have lunch specials every day, party packs that start at just $7.49. You can add a third of a rack of ribs for just $7.99 when you purchase an entree for lunch or dinner, maybe the barbecue sandwich. Then you go with the ribs. Maybe you want to go outside the barbecue family. You can go with their award-winning catfish plate, tamales, burgers, salads. It's all absolutely out of this world. And if you have an event you want catered, let Corky's cater it for you. They can cater it no matter how much you're talking about, how big of a party or a get-together or a gathering it is. Corky's can cater it because they have catered some huge events. And you're talking tailgating now. It's football season. Or for soccer tonight, you're tailgating. Pick up some Corky's. I'm sure a lot of people will be very happy about that. I was over at Corky's in Collierville the other day and picked up the fried chicken wings, the Drummies, which are out of this world. I'm not a big wings guy, but man, when they cook them the way I like them, which are real crispy, that's what they do with those, I call them the Drummies, but the wings over at Corky's. It's Corky's Ribs and Barbecue, open for lunch and dinner 7 days a week. You're listening to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Let Bryant Dacus and Brett Norsworthy take you home every afternoon. Sports Time on Sports 56. Weekdays from 3 to 6 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Unlock your new go-to spot, Codes Dispensary in Steele, Missouri, just over an hour from Memphis. When you're ready for a legal, reliable option, they're right up the road. Explore the full menu of top-shelf products in-store and online. Short on time? Order ahead and cruise through the drive-thru for a quick pickup. Stack rewards while you stock up with Club Codes. Earn points for every dollar spent. Codes Dispensary, now open in Steele, Missouri. Supreme cannabis that's worth the drive. Learn more at codesdispensary.com. That's codesdispensary.com.
From the people who brought you It's the Dog Park comes.
Your dog is limping, but she seems fine. Plus, you've heard they can fake it just to get what they want. So what's the deal now? You're being gaslit.
Protect your dog from injury and illness with Progressive Pet Insurance.
Oh, now she switched legs. What a diva.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Coverage subject to policy terms.
Hi, this is Troy Five Ash, owner of Five Ash Roof Services. I wanted to take a minute and discuss advertising with you. There are so many websites that list the best service provider in your area. Even the BBB has an accredited list. You know the one thing they all have in common? A company like mine has to pay to get on that list. So that begs the question, can those lists be trusted? You know what can be trusted? History. We've been around for almost 30 years providing customers with the best service and the best products that we possibly can. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call. We'll come talk to you and let you decide for yourself whether or not we know what we're talking about. Five Ash Roof Services. Best products, best warranties, and in many cases, the best price. We're fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Good morning.
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
So I was looking at Chris Vanini's drop of the rankings of all 138 Division 1A FBS football programs. He dropped that at The Athletic just moments ago. And I'm looking where he has Memphis, and he has them at number 62 overall, which is respectable. He has them at 8-5 on the year, which is respectable. Remember, earlier in the show, if you were with us, I mentioned the couple of guys who put the ESPN bowl predictions together, with Mark Schlabach having Memphis going to the Frisco Bowl to play New Mexico, and Kyle Bonagora not having Memphis bowl eligible, which would mean 5 wins or less. And so, again, you look at 8-5 and you go, that's very respectable. Although I think it's an absolute guessing game right now about Memphis, complete guessing game. And really in the American Conference, it's pretty much a guessing game for most teams. But even though 62 is respectable, Eli, at 8-5 for Memphis with so many questions, in front of Memphis, South Florida, Tulane, UTSA, Boise State, UNLV, Navy, which, by the way, he has at number 25. That's a lot of roadblocks that are ahead of Memphis. Although, do we really know about South Florida? Do we know about Tulane? Navy, it seems like all the prognosticators love them, but they have a new quarterback, and that quarterback they had was really, really good, Horvath. So they got to replace that guy. They got some other spots where they lost some talent, but people like Navy. UTSA is the interesting one because they have their quarterback-coach combination back, but they have struggled defensively. They've also talked about their lack of financial commitment to the program, basically, and maybe not in those words, but that's what Jeff Traylor has said in the past. So even though, again, it's a respectable number, I think, that Vanini gives him, and that's just one person, and an 8-5 record. Here's what he said about Memphis. Charles Huff has wanted Marshall and Southern Miss and now inherits a Memphis team with a high floor. Former touted recruit Aaron Nolan has been battling for the starting quarterback job. That's it. That's what they're saying about. And then right after Memphis is Army, a couple of spots down. So we're days away from the opening kickoff. Week 0, this Saturday, Memphis and UNLV. I don't have a clue. I have no idea how good this team will be. Nothing would shock me. Winning the conference championship would not shock me. 5 wins would shock me. That would shock me. So I go back on my words. But 6-7 wins, if things don't go the right way, get the wrong bounces, it's doable with that schedule, but I don't think that'll be the case. So I think more of the 8-9 variety of predictions makes a lot of sense. We'll do our official predictions on Wednesday.
Yeah, it's lots of unknown. Finally, we'll get to see them in action, thankfully, and finally games will begin, and we can kind of forget about all of the off-the-field stuff for a while and just watch football games for the next however many weeks, which will be quite refreshing, not to be worried about or watching court cases or whatever else. It's just we'll actually see guys playing football, and I'm happy that has arrived.
Me too. He has Indiana, by the way, number 1. He said the defending national champs are disrespected by their number 6 ranking in the preseason coaches and AP polls. Would that have happened if a different logo were on the helmet? Additions like running back Turbo Richard, receiver Nick Marsh will help new quarterback Josh Hoover. The Hoosiers remain the team to beat. It's respect for the defending national champs. They went out and they got other players. It's maybe even a little disrespectful to the national coach of the year, Curt Cignetti. But he's the only one I've seen that has Indiana that high. And in fact, most, if not every prediction I've seen is either Indiana or Oregon. Is either Ohio State or Oregon. He has Ohio State 2, Georgia 3, Oregon 4, Notre Dame 5, Texas 6, Miami 7. And that's, in one way or another, that's pretty much what everybody has. Then he has LSU 8. So LSU is his 3rd highest SEC, followed by Texas Tech and then Oklahoma, another SEC team. You have any issues? I know it's one man's opinion. He's entitled to it. Any issues with putting Indiana as the defending champions number 1?
No, I mean, last year wasn't just a fluke. I mean, they were awesome the year before and went to the playoff. It just, right. At this point, they've earned the respect of one of the top programs, and they went out and got a very good transfer quarterback. We'll see how he plays. They lost a lot of talent, but they also are bringing back a lot of talent. So, and went and got a lot of talent in the transfer portal. So, and Curt Cignetti has proven to be one of the best coaches there is in college football. No reason to doubt him at this point. Just Google him. There's a lot more on his Google than there was when he first told you to Google him. I mean, it's just bottom line. They over what they've done the last 2 years, they've earned that respect. I have no problem with somebody putting them at number 1 right now.
Vanini, again, writing for The Athletic, has BYU 11. Ole Miss is 12, just ahead of Texas A&M. Then USC, Alabama 15. That's the one. We did our SEC predictions last week. That's the one that just continues to boggle my mind. I know how good they are in most positions. They got a stud at quarterback. Can he be right out of the gate be that guy, Keelan Russell? He's a freshman. It's a lot to ask for. And then there's still the doubters of Kalen DeBoer by people, and I'm a little, not a doubter. I mean, he's obviously got a great resume, but a little suspect. But after Saban, I'd be that way with most, if not all. So that's the one that really, I think they got a very favorable schedule. That's why I would not be surprised if Alabama's ahead of several of those SEC teams I just mentioned. It's got Michigan 16, SMU 17, Louisville 18, Houston 19, and then Tennessee. We found out about their quarterback situation a little bit earlier in the show. He's got Boise 21, and Memphis will be there in several weeks. Oklahoma State, Washington, Iowa, and then Navy. So Memphis will play in his top 25, 2 teams in the top 25, both on the road in Boise State and Navy. And then you go down the list, and he has, let's see, Florida 31, South Carolina 32, Missouri from the SEC 35, Auburn 36. You get the UNLV's, got him at number 44. And then I mentioned with Memphis sitting there at number 50 or number 62, with South Florida 61, with Tulane 53 and UTSA 52. Army not far behind Memphis at 66. Tight, but everybody right now is just guessing. I mean, there are some teams that you can look at and you go, oh, they're going to be really good. And they are the top teams. They're the top 15, 20 teams that you know pretty much they're going to be good. Doesn't mean that they'll be a playoff team. Things can go wrong. But you know their quarterback. They got players back. The coach is stable. He's back. And then you got situations like with a lot of the American Conference teams, the better programs over the last decade that have had upheaval. Not turmoil, but upheaval. Silverfield's gone, Huff's in. Change it South Florida. Change it Tulane. Change it North Texas.
We got a text. Says, with all these prognosticators talking about the U of M unknowns, do they say the same thing about group of 5 teams they have well ahead of the U of M, like Tulane? Yeah, I mean, again, there's just in the American Conference there is. And to me, like, the thing with Tulane is, obviously, it's a new coach. It's a lot of new players. Every time you got a new coach, it's a lot of new players. Their coach doesn't have a track record of winning. He didn't win in his previous stop.
Well, yes, Will Hall did not win. He did not win at the place where Charles Huff just came from and won. Now, from what I'm hearing from my insiders that follow or cover Tulane, that they got a lot of guys back, that they have a lot of players back. I don't know what that means, but they got a lot of players back, but it's a new coach with, you would think, a new system. Now, Pete Thamel just reported 4 minutes ago. Let me double check. I want to make sure it's the real Pete Thamel. It is. Tulane fifth-year senior Zion Chris Gramillion will start at quarterback. He'll make his debut at Duke on September 5th. He's on his third school making starts at quarterback. He was at Houston in 2024 and 25 and Louisiana the prior 2 years. Zion Chris Gramillion. I got to be honest with you. As much as I cover college football, maybe I knew of this guy and it just kind of went in one ear and out the other. I don't remember. Do you remember this guy? At Houston? Of course, Houston wasn't in the American. They were, during this time, obviously the Big 12, but I don't remember this guy. But so you have had today, you've had the announcement from Tulane and the announcement from USF with their starting quarterback, which will be Van Buren, no surprise, at South Florida for Brian Hartline. We've had the announcements over the weekend of Arkansas's starting quarterback and several others. Alabama's starting quarterback, Tennessee's starting quarterback. With Memphis, again, reportedly, they know who the starting quarterback is. We don't know who the starting quarterback is.
That quarterback attempted 21 passes last year at Houston. Nobody's heard of him.
Yeah, I think the point that the texter made, I understand where they're coming from. Yes, I got questions about Tulane and South Florida and I got questions about Navy, and yet everybody thinks that they're absolutely the top of the class. And maybe they will be. Now, Memphis plays the ball on the road. That's tough. And Tulane has talent. There's no question they have talent. But, yes, they have question mark at the quarterback, and they got a question mark with the coach. And Hardline comes from Ohio State. How long will it take for him to find his footing in Tampa, where they're building the on-campus stadium? Things are going along nicely. It's all new there. North Texas, as I mentioned, although I didn't expect them to be a factor this year, obviously when the coach left, the quarterback left, and Mestamaker was a good quarterback. But East Carolina, I keep hearing about them, that they're coming up. You have the quarterback-coach combination at UTSA back together. That's extremely important. UTSA is going to score a lot of points, but I think they're going to give up a lot of points. But Memphis doesn't play them. Navy's got a new starting quarterback, but they got the coach back. Army's going to be Army. They're going to be tough.
Army and Navy are the exact opposites to everybody else. They have essentially their entire teams back.
Sure,
because they're not losing.
You're not dealing with the portal and all that.
You're not putting it. So they succeed a lot on continuity. That we've got all of these guys who are back and guys who have been in our program. When you lose guys to graduation, you have guys who have been in the program there to replace them.
Right. And that's why I try to tell people outside of Memphis that doesn't understand the scheduling how tough the schedule is for Memphis, how unpredictable it is. But there's also the same questions that we're talking about for South Florida and others that they have about Memphis when they prep for Memphis. Now by that time, they'll have game tape. They'll see what they're about. We'll find out a lot this weekend. We won't find out everything. Then you got the home opener against Arkansas State, which will not be a pushover by any stretch of the imagination. They battle them pretty well. Memphis usually gets the upper hand. And then you turn around and got to go to Boise. So how ready will these guys be from the get-go? I'm telling you, Coach Huff has been in control of this since day one that he walked into that building. The buck stops with him. He's brought in two coordinators, one, an innovative young offensive coordinator that has an incredible future, and a proven defensive coordinator who the kids love to play for. But there's so many unknowns right now. And it starts with the quarterback. Whether it's Stokes or whether it's Nolan, both Stokes with the experience of playing in FCS football last year. That team has now moved into FBS. And Aaron Nolan not having the experience, but having been at two huge programs in Ohio State and South Carolina. So it starts there. But some of the players they brought in, they're extremely excited about, especially on the defensive side. And I'm excited to see what those receivers can do in that spread offense that Decker runs and those running backs. And by the way, big announcement that starting next Monday and every Monday during the college football season, Dallin Hayden will be with us in studio from 8 to 9, not as a guest, but as a co-host. He will be a part of the show for a full hour. He is a budding broadcaster, and we've gotten that green light, and we thank Coach Huff for that. And we'll not put him in any bad position, but he'll talk about games. He'll talk about games that won't involve opponents on the Memphis schedule. But we'll talk about a lot of football with Dallin. Looking forward to that and having him on every single Monday.
Folks, if you are a runner, walker, just if you're on your feet a lot every day, you want to always make sure that you got shoes that are just right for you. And if you go see the folks at Fleet Feet, they will make that happen for you. They'll take care of you by fitting you with shoes that are just right for you based on the way you run or the way you walk, where you put the weight on the different parts of your feet. Shoes are all a little bit different. Everybody's a little bit different. The mechanics, the way they walk or run, and they'll make sure you've got the shoes with the proper support for you. Plus any other gear that you need, anything else that you need, well, they'll take care of you there as well. They got 2 locations for you to go see them. Laurelwood Shopping Center in East Memphis, out in Collierville, Poplar and Houston Levy. They're next to Huey's. Go see them at either one of those 2 locations and let them fit you with those shoes that are just right for you, or take care of any other needs that you have. Go see the folks at Fleet Feet.
Adam Schefter reporting just in the last minute. Now officially, Daquan Wright has been waived by the Browns. That's the first step. Now he has to clear waivers. And then Wright has an agreement in place with LSU. if he does go unclaimed. Wouldn't it be something if somebody claims him? We'll see, as you said earlier, that scenario. But again, it's one more step closer to a guy in an NFL camp coming back to college. Different school, mind you, so we'll have to see what Greg Sankey says about that, going from Ole Miss to LSU. When we come back, we got a lot of baseball to get into from the weekend. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Be sure to download our Hub 901 app for instant access to Sports 56 and all the Flynn broadcasting stations from anywhere. Go to the App Store and get the Hub 901 app today.
Hey, everybody. I'm out here in Olive Branch trying to pick out my favorite new Silverado for a test drive. And I've got one question. How low can your payment go? Come to All-Star Chevy and see what 0% financing for 5 years on all these new Silverados will do. And no payments until after Thanksgiving because your good credit deserves it. Military and first responders get an extra $500 bonus. And All-Star Chevy has the pre-owned makes and models for any budget. Go big with a Tahoe. Pre-owned Silverados? Yes, always. They got them right here in Olive Branch. Whatever you're looking for, ask Jeff and he'll find what you want fast. For all your commercial and fleet needs, All-Star Chevy is the top-rated business elite dealer. Express Cargo and Express Passenger Vans, they are right here in Olive Branch. And if you have any vehicle you want to sell, bring it here to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch and get the most money for it today. Together, let's drive. Don't miss the last best sale of the summer event going on now in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet, or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Chris Price here for Metro Builders. Everything costs more these days. Groceries, gas, insurance, repairs, everything. But at Metro Builders, we decided it was time for something to finally go the other direction. Introducing the Great Deflation Event from Metro Builders. We went back to our suppliers, renegotiated our pricing across all 4 states we operate in, and now we're passing those savings directly to you. Right now, homeowners can save up to 15% on all roof replacements, with even bigger discounts available on all roof repairs. So if you've been putting off that roof because of the price, now may be the time to get it handled. Don't let them tell you it needs to be replaced when all it may need is a repair. We'll measure your roof from outer space with free inspections, gutter cleaning with any roof job, and pricing on site during the first visit. Metro Builders Great Deflation Event today. Get your roof inspected, get all options, and see how much you can save. Call us at Metro Builders, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717, or schedule online at metrobuildersmemphis.com.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Good morning.
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. 9:45 is the time. Last night, the Atlanta Braves got off the schneid, beat the Brewers 4-2 in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, at the Little League Classic. And it was announced that your Cubs will play the Blue Jays next year in Williamsport, but a nice event that they have every year for the kids and really for the players themselves. I think they get a hoot out of doing that, at least once every decade, whatever it is for the teams. I don't know how many times they're going to play, but to be able to be a part of that, I'm sure they love it.
Yeah, it's kind of lets them kind of go back to have a little reminiscing about their Little League days, and for the Little League kids to get a chance to see these guys and everything else. It's fantastic. I love from the Field of Dreams to this type of stuff, all these special things they do. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, and I didn't see it. I didn't watch any of the game. Did the players before the game, did any of them go down that slide, down the outfield, down the hill?
I don't know if any did or not.
I saw a couple of Braves do it.
Did they do it?
I know Chris Sale said he was too old.
Yeah, I'd be worried, man. He'd go down there. Oh, my gosh, he's injured. Oh, he's out for the playoff run.
Look, they had a brief weather delay, and they gave him a little time, especially with the muddy hill.
Oh my gosh. But the Braves, I said, got off the schneid because they have been in a slump, and the Phillies have taken advantage of it. The Braves' lead is down to 3 in the National League East. It could have been back to 4. Now, the Phillies played before the Braves did, but the Phillies with an unbelievable come-from-behind win over the St. Louis Cardinals, and I'm sure you're broken up about that.
Well, it did kind of because the Phillies are chasing the Cubs for the first wild card, so I kind of did want the Cardinals to win.
No,
I would have helped it that way, but that is a brutal to blow a 4-run lead with 2 outs in the 9th inning. That's a tough way to lose. That's a hard way to lose.
2 outs and 2 strikes. The Phillies come back against Riley O'Brien, all-star Riley O'Brien. They tie it up, man on base for Schwarber, and Cardinals fans wondering, now I'm not sure if they were wondering at the time, but wondering, of course, post-game, why Ali Marmol kept him in the game, but he did, and Kyle Schwarber made him pay with one of the longest home runs of the season over the batter's eye in center field, his 39th dinger of the year. It was a dramatic comeback win for the Phillies, who have now won 9 in a row. 9 in a row. The Phillies have been, and I don't usually say this with the Phillies, they're pretty consistent year in and year out, but they have been streaky. Like really streaky this year. They've had the long winning streaks, the long losing streaks, but again, they have put together this current 9-game winning streak, and they are 3 up on Atlanta. Could have been 2, could have been 4, depending on how the things turned out last night. But the Atlanta Braves get the win in the Little League Classic, and the Phillies get the comeback win over the Cardinals. And looking around the National League, the Phillies with a 3-game lead, or Braves with a 3-game lead over the Phillies. And then the other 2 divisional races are pretty much done. It's all about the wild card. Milwaukee leads your Cubs by 6. Dodgers over the Padres by 9. American League, though, the Yankees back to within 3 of Tampa Bay, and Boston within 6 with 30 games to play. That could get interesting, especially with the Yankees. What's their health? Stanton had a setback, so he's not back with the team, yet they continue to win minus a bunch of stars, including Judge. White Sox lead is 3.5 over Cleveland, and Minnesota's 5.5 out. So that one's still up for grabs, even though the White Sox, got to give them a lot of credit. They have held that spot all year long. And then in the West, in the American League West, crazy. Houston and Texas, a flat-footed tie, and both teams, Eli, are a game under 500. Seattle, as bad as they've been, 7 under 500, are 3 games out of the lead in the West and still in the wild card race.
Yeah, there has never been I think I read, I don't remember who said it, but in a full Major League Baseball season, so not a strike shortened or anything like that, there's never been a team make the postseason with a record under 500. That is almost certain to end this year because of the American League.
Wow.
You may have multiple teams under 500 in the playoffs in the American League this year.
So the Astros, who have been a bit of a surprise as well as they played, but have slumped of late, they have made a move with their general manager. Dana Brown is out. The team announced today. Brown's contract was set to expire at the end of the season. He's been the GM since 2023. They're in the playoff race, and the Astros decide to dump their general manager.
In the never-ending world of like how crazy baseball and bizarre baseball can be, you had Randy Arozarena on Saturday night match Pete Crow Armstrong with a home run on the first pitch of the game, and then a walk-off home run to end the game as well. And he does it against the Cubs after Pete Crow Armstrong had obviously done it for the Cubs just a few days earlier. It had only been done once in the history of baseball.
Yes.
And then twice in a week in Cubs games, it happens. Baseball can be, and he did the Pete Crow Armstrong as well by leading off the game the next day with a home run, which they became the only 2 people to ever do that. And they did it within a week of each other. And again, Pete Crow Armstrong does it for the Cubs, and then the Cubs give up the ones to Randy Arozarena.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. Absolutely. And then PCA also hit a home run in that game or Sunday. He hit a home run over the weekend as he continues to, battle Shohei for MVP.
No, yeah, he keeps doing his thing.
He hit another bomb. But
yeah,
I saw that, wrote it down. I go, my gosh, I cannot believe history repeating itself within what? Couple of weeks?
It was a week.
A week.
I mean, and by the way, did you see the White Sox fans again? You can't take White Sox fans anywhere.
No, what happened? Another brawl?
Huge brawl at their between them and with them and the Mets. Some dude jumped, like he came off the top rope, like from 4 rows up, just went jumping down with a drop kick.
Who started what? I mean, it was because these are Mets fans. I can tell you about Mets fans. Mets and the Phillies fans have had epic fights. But this is, like, I went to a game one time, saw the Mets. Yeah, the Mets fans can be, I mean, they're pretty brutal. Not as bad as the Phillies fans, but they're pretty brutal.
There's been 2 massive fights in the stands involving the last week. Both times the White Sox were involved.
I mean, what's the history in Chicago with the White Sox and the Cubs as far as fandom? Cubs are great fans. White Sox are bottom of the barrel. Like, what is the history?
Yes, obviously.
So the White Sox have done these White Sox fans have been known for that?
White Sox fans are terrible people. We know them that.
I mean, take your prejudice out of this, your bias of being a Cubs fan. Are they known for that? Phillies fans are great fans of their team, but they tell it like it is. But are they mean? Will they throw things? Will they start fights? Yes, they absolutely will. Did they have a jail at the old Veterans Stadium? Yes, they did. Never spent any time there. And you can't prove it. So there's a difference. They're still great fans. There are fans that are terrible. They get into fights, they start brawls, but they don't support their team either and won't be there. Phillies fans are there through thick and thin. So I don't know what the White Sox fans are. I don't know what their rap is other than the last couple of games seemingly getting into brawls. Kate Anderson made his Major League Baseball debut with the Mariners. 5 2/3 innings pitched, 81 pitches, 3 earned runs.
Yeah, he was
okay. He was okay.
He was okay. The Cubs did better against him than I thought they were going to do. So they ended up losing that game on the Arozarena walk-off after they giving up 3 in the 9th after having a 2-run lead, which sucked. But they handled Anderson better than I was expecting them to.
And then finally, Tarek Skubal gets his first win in a Dodgers uniform. 7 innings, gives up 3 runs, strikes out 11. Really nice performance, which again means bad news for everybody else in Major League Baseball. Skubal gets it going. Shohei pitched live BP. He's going to be throwing, Dave Roberts said, probably sometime this week. Doesn't bode well for everybody.
Yeah, they've won 6 in a row. They've kind of gotten it straightened back out again. Obviously, they are really, really good. They went to the tough little bad stretch there, but yes, if Shohei gets back on the mound, obviously Skubal gets things straightened back out as well. You've got, I'm not sure when the other guys are supposed to be coming back, but yeah, I mean, it's Glasnow, I think, is throwing, or may even be doing rehab starts now. So you might be getting him back in the near future as well. So yeah, suddenly you throw a Shohei and a Tyler Glasnow back into the rotation along with Skubal and others. It can change things around in a hurry.
Once again, if you missed it just a short time ago, according to several reports, the Cleveland Browns have named Deshaun Watson. Despite all the boos from the home fans, he has been named the starting quarterback over Shedeur Sanders for Week 1 of the NFL season. Folks, take your basketball skills to the next level at Shoot 360 Memphis, a revolutionary basketball training facility that combines cutting-edge technology with gamification and provides instant objective feedback with hands-on, one-on-one expert coaching. There's some things that are coming to Shoot 360 Memphis that I can't talk about right now, but we'll be here, I think, in about a week or 2 weeks, and then we'll give you all that information. But I know they have this one unbelievable league that's coming up that's going to include drafting players. It's just, we had Thaddeus Young on the show. He talked about this. We'll give you more information again when it is announced officially. But Thaddeus talked about some of these changes just to enhance what is going on at Shoot 360 Memphis. And we already know this is the place to get your shots up. This is the place to work on your game, to get the one-on-one expert coaching, to get the analytical feedback every time you step into these shooting bays with the Shoot 360 technology. Every single time you put up a shot, your passing drills, that's where the gamification comes in. Especially for younger kids learning the game of basketball. You're hitting targets, you're scoring points. So you're playing basically a video game, but you're physically playing a video game, not sitting there on your bed just pushing buttons. You're actually out there working up a sweat. And again, as I said, the coaching, excellent. Guys that have been at every level, including the NBA. And you can join for a month. Yes, a monthly membership is available at Shoot 360 Memphis. In Collierville, call them at 901-316-5500 or go see them at 85 Market Street. In Cordova, Big Orange Road, 901-779-3176. Call or stop by, ask for a tour, and ask for a free evaluation. And then join for a month and try it out and tell me if you like it or not. I almost guarantee you that you will. It is Shoot 360 Memphis. The future of basketball training is here at Shoot 360 Memphis. Our thanks to Richard Mulrooney, Memphis men's soccer coach, for joining us on the program today. Tomorrow, Connor O'Gara joins us to talk college football. We'll talk Memphis Tigers football with Landon Speck. Mickey Barker, as the golf season's winding down, will join us, plus Humdinger's trivia. It all gets underway at 7 a.m. Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 is coming up next. For Eli Savoy and Jay Ham, I'm Greg Gaston. Have a great